what we offer at Loan Pronto using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to let a new career blossom. The Wake County Public School System is hiring special education instructional assistants and bus drivers, and we need dedicated individuals to help transport kids and provide instruction to motivated students. You'll love our competitive salaries and comprehensive benefits, including retirement, and will enjoy a welcoming, positive culture that will motivate you every day. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and discover a place where anything is possible.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's. If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers. Learn more at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636.
Find mom's best gift at Target. Now through Mother's Day, get up to 40% off gifts for her. Discover trendy apparel and swimwear that'll elevate any wardrobe. Jewelry that'll make her smile shine brighter, and even chocolate that'll turn any moment into something sweeter. There are endless options to choose from to show her she's the best. Hurry! Save 20 to 40% on select apparel, jewelry, chocolates, and more this Mother's Day only at Target. Restrictions apply.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Nice afternoon out there. Low humidity, a good bit of sunshine, and a high of 81. As we get through the afternoon, you may notice the clouds thickening up a little bit. We'll see an overnight low of 60 degrees. And then tomorrow, the clouds continue to thicken up, and we may see a late day or evening shower or thunderstorm. We'll see a high temperature of 83.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 319 points to 41,148. Market update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org. This hour of The Drive brought to you by Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Deep River wants you to come fight the clay invasion. Come shoot down clay targets at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Visit deepriversportingclays.com.
Now Ovechkin will get one out in front, and an opportunity as Strome was right there. Denied by Anderson. Canes come up with it with a chance. They score! Logan Stankoven buries it, and the Canes have tied this at 1. Behind the net, Martin Hook. It'll come out right point. Slavin with a chance. They score! They score! In overtime! Jacob Slavin lets it go from the point, and Carolina has taken game number 1 here in Washington.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. How you feeling, Canes fans? How you feeling, Caps fans? I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. Canes go up 1-0 in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Caps on the road. Stormed the enemy territory, came back, or at least staying there, going into game 2 with at least one. At least. They play again tomorrow. Playoff hockey. I'm going to do something intentionally today. I'm going to say the Canes won game 1. I'm going to say the Canes took game 1. I'm going to say they found a way to get a victory in. I will not say, and I refuse to say, they stole game one. That was not a stealing. That was despite what the final score says, in many ways it was a domination in game one. Just because they won on the road does not mean they stole, right? This is not Washington wasn't looking and they ran in and grabbed something and slipped it into their pocket and then, walked out of the store. This was they walked into Washington, picked the win up, said, "Hey, I'm taking this," and walked out in plain view. There was no stealing.
This is mine. Bye.
Yeah, it was they allowed it to happen. They made it happen. Sometimes they stole home court or stole home ice is just the way it's talked about, and it's not always the case. Now, if Washington, I don't know, had 33 shots on net to the Canes 14 and the Canes won, then you could argue they stole it. But those aren't the numbers. That's the reverse. Canes finished with 33 shots on net compared with just 14 for Washington. That is a game the Canes deserve to win, and there's a million different ways we could explain it. The total shot attempts was even more drastic. 6 Hurricanes had at least 3 shots on net, including Jacob Slavin, who scored the game winner in overtime. So you could argue he was due, right? Sure, it was a long-distance shot and made it through a bunch of traffic, and if he took that shot a bunch of times, who knows how many times it would see his way all the way through, but it was the 5th attempt from him, right? Jacob Slavin was more aggressive offensively than he traditionally is, and he was rewarded with a shot that may have been low percentage or whatever going through. And by the way, they did what they should. Go back and look at the screenshot when that shot went through. Jarvis was in good position. Staal was on the backside already battling with a cane, keeping them out of the way. There were players creating traffic, distorting vision lines, and that's why a puck would squeak through.
I mean, if you count the 6 guys in front of the net plus the 1 guy up by Slavin, there's 7 guys between Slavin and the net.
It wasn't a lucky deal. It was calculated.
It wasn't a fluke.
That's the word I'm looking for. That's not a fluke. And as I get more and more and more and more into hockey, I have to remember what it is like for a casual fan. So I got a text during the game last night when the Canes were down 1-0, right? And it's from somebody that is a much bigger, I played college football, I run football circles, somebody that's a much bigger football fan than hockey fan, but they're getting into the Canes, right? Obviously, they're catching the Caniac fever, whatever you want to call it. Here's the text. I wrote it down because I went, oh, this is good. One thing I don't love about hockey compared to football is hockey you can completely dominate, but just let one goal happen and be losing. Football, it's really hard to dominate and lose. That right there, first of all, is true. It's why, football can get away with 1-game playoffs, and in the NHL, you need a 7-game series, right? Because you can dominate a game and lose 2-1. But also, it makes it feel like sometimes the team that's dominating got away with something. The Canes they rang the post.
Rung it?
They rung up and down the post. They hit the post 5 times. Svetch did it twice by himself, and that's a guy that's been buzzing, right? That's a guy who he easily could have scored 2, and we would have looked around and said that's in rhythm for him. It's the Canes had the puck in their offensive zone for 33 minutes and 28 seconds compared to just 16 minutes and 51 seconds for the Caps. That is dominating time of possession, controlling the tempo, controlling the action, doing everything we talked about before the game yesterday.
Hey, you said 33 minutes and 28 seconds?
Yes.
Yeah, there was 63 minutes of hockey yesterday. So the other 30 minutes was either the Canes had the puck in the neutral zone in their own defensive end, or Washington had the puck somewhere on the ice. I think Washington only had the puck in the offensive end 17 minutes.
It was 16:51.
There you go.
And I just have this image of right, and you do have to go and back it up with stats like that, because not always the thing you walk away like, did I see that? is right, but I had this image of the big bad Caps just chasing around the faster Canes all night, right? Just as the puck was moved around the perimeter, as they just skated with a greater velocity. And then you go see something like 33 minutes and 28 seconds in the Canes offensive zone, and you go, actually, yeah, what I saw, what I remembered, it is what happened. So don't go around saying, oh, Canes stole one. Oh, they stole home ice. Oh, look at that. They went out there and got lucky. No. The longer the game went on, the more it became something's going to have to give. And give credit to the Caps for doing the things that keep you in games when you're being dominated in all those stats we just said. Throwing their body around. They were not afraid to step in front of some absolute rockets and get blocks prior to reaching the goalie Thompson.
They blocked 36 last night.
That is giving your body up for the team. You give credit for that. You don't have to like the Caps to go, nah.
Hey, you can respect it.
Yeah. Svech, got it was 94 miles an hour or whatever it was. Like, these guys were ripping it, and Caps were doing what you have to do to stay in a game as long as you can when getting beaten in a lot of ways. So give them credit for it, but don't take away from the Canes' domination. Don't take away, and we can have these conversations. I don't know what the state of North Carolina or the franchise ever did to PK Subban, who's one of the national broadcasters. But when they cut in at intermission of the game following the Canes, and his big takeaway was, Washington didn't play well. Don't do that. The Canes, if Washington didn't play well, it's because Carolina was making them not play well, right? If Washington couldn't get into a rhythm, it's because they didn't have the puck because the Canes were possessing it. It's not like the puck was just sitting free on the ice and Washington couldn't find it. They were watching Aho's line dominate. They were watching Mark Jankowski get hurt and have the Canes actually go down to essentially a 3-line rotation for a big part of the third period and still out-hustle and win 50-50 pucks for the Canes. That's earned. That's not, Washington didn't play well. That's earned by the Canes.
Yeah, outskated them.
Exactly.
Outskated them.
Now, 7-game series, got to do it every game.
True.
But game one, it's if it wasn't a knockout, it was won on the cards unanimously. They won 9 of the 12 rounds. It was aggressive. And then, of course, Mr. Game 1 did what he had to do.
Let's go.
That's Logan Stankoven. I'm telling you, when that name catches on, make sure you give us a bibliography. Mr. Game 1, he now has 3 playoff goals, all of them coming in Game 1s. He's played 2 Game 1s. So he's a goal and a half per game in Game 1s for the Canes. He is a Mr. Game 1. Here's Stankoven on sticking to what they know and doing it despite maybe not getting the scoring started early.
It's just trust in the game plan. That's what our game is all about. Getting in his eyes and lots of shot volume. That's what Rod preaches. So sometimes not everything's going to go in. So you got to be patient, and worked out well for us tonight.
There were points where Thompson in goal for the Caps. I don't know if it was anybody else noticed this. Seemed like his glove was the guy caught 80% of the shots sent his way. He wouldn't, no blocker, didn't need the stick. He's just I'm just gonna catch everything.
Except for Stankoven,
and then obviously Slavin, and that's all it took. But again, he's not going to catch everything if you keep peppering him with targets. That's what you have to keep telling yourself over and over and over and over again. He's not going to catch them all, or more importantly, the post won't deflect them all. They just keep firing. That's exactly what the Canes did, and they earned the win. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, and maybe we'll do good cop, bad cop. That segment, good cop for the Canes. Bad cop would be the things that they need to work on by game 2. We'll do that in a second. But first, Dennis Cox has something for you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. It's that time of year. It's riding season. I know I'm definitely going to be enjoying getting out on the motorcycle in this type of weather. So as riders out there, we obviously have to be cognizant of everything that's out there on us, around us on the road. One thing you always have to make sure when you're on your bike and on your motorcycle, when you're riding down the road, is always make sure you have an escape. Always have an escape plan in case someone cuts in front of you, someone slams the brakes. Where's your out? Where's your escape plan? That is something you always have to make sure you're cognizant of when you're on a motorcycle. But also as drivers out there, be cognizant also as well of the motorcycles around you. Don't follow them too closely. Make sure you don't follow in their blind spots. Always be cognizant out there on the road and aware of each other out there on the road. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact your insurance company. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They know what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with them is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Canes beat the Caps. They earned the win, but it wasn't perfect. We nitpick coming up next. Stick around.
Need more Stanley Cup chatter, Canes fans? Listen afternoons at 12:15 and 4:15 for our Cup check-in. Served up by Carolina Ale House. Adam Gold talks with hockey's best, past and present, bringing you the latest insight on the chase for Lord Stanley's Cup. It's the Cup check-in on 99.9 The Fan. Served up by Carolina Ale House. Come to Carolina Ale House Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs, or visit carolinaalehouse.com/Canes.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Need a spot to cheer on the Canes? Join the Carolina Hurricanes crew at Carolina Ale House's Cary location for away game watch parties. They'll have giveaways, prizes, and more. Yeah, even Stormy will be there. Weather permitting, there'll be a lawn party with a giant TV next to the restaurant. Bring a folding chair and cause chaos. Carolina Ale House is an official partner of the Carolina Hurricanes. Come to Carolina Ale House Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs. Or visit carolinaalehouse.com/Canes for more info. Carolina Ale House. Ale, yeah.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander for FanDuel. The semifinals are here, folks, and that means all the show-stopping action is turning up a notch. Don't miss your chance to bet on all the legendary moments with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel is the best place to find all your favorite player props, and now you can make the smarter play with new performance trends. Want to see if a guy's hitting the over consistently? Maybe they've been flirting with a potential triple-double. Get the latest stats right inside the app and see who's heating up. And once the game starts, that's when things get interesting. You can combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. And if you already don't have FanDuel, it's not too late to get in on the action. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul and join today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
At Napa, we've spent the last 100 years building our business into an engine that powers yours. Whether you're big or small, national or local, Napa has the automotive solutions your business needs to stay moving. And it's all driven by a nationwide network of quality parts and exceptional service on one mission: to keep your business moving full speed ahead. That's why we are the pros that know.
Spencer, you talked about how well you know this opponent. Is that exactly the kind of game you would have expected them to play this style?
Yeah.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's go bad cop, right? Good cop, bad cop. First segment, good cop. After a win, you want to start with good cop, right? You want to say all the things your team did well. You want to celebrate. You want to make sure there's no disrespect. And then you watch the film, right? And then you dive in, and then you ask, what could we have done better? If we dominated the way that it feels like we dominated, why were we down 1-0 so late in the game? Why did we need overtime? That's a good question. And it brings us right to where so much of the debate around the Canes system comes from, which is shots on goal are awesome, but not every shot on goal is created the same, right? Not every shot attempt is created the same. There was a stat passed around yesterday. The Canes had 94 shot attempts in that game, which is absurd.
That's a lot.
Washington had 34 shot attempts.
That's not as many.
In inner slot shots, Canes had 7. Washington had 6. Right? So despite taking so many less shots, they at certain levels of high risk shots, high leverage shots, Washington was getting nearly as many. So that's where the crux of it is for the Canes. Right? It's the context, it's the nuance. I like counting shots on goal as much as anybody, and I do that for guys like Svech. Like, I'm just like, hey man, I don't care where they are. Give me 5 shots on goal and I'll be happy, because I think Svech, when he's aggressive, is a better player. But at a certain point, you have to look around and go, all right, maybe not just any shot on goal, right? At a certain point, it's if there's one more pass for a better shot, if there's a chance you can take to get closer to the net or closer to the crease, go ahead and give me that. Because not every shot is created equal, even though part of the Canes system is shots on goal, shots on goal, shots on goal. Part of their system is good things happen when you get pucks on net, and it's true, but there has to be some kind of a balance. At one point in time, during the broadcast, right, because away game we're watching on our couch, they put up the shot chart, right, with the little dots on everywhere that a shot on goal had been taken. And, I mean, the Canes, it looked like a Steph Curry shot chart. It was like, do you get 3 points for being out beyond an arc anywhere? Because they're taking them from distance. It's like, is this Pete Maravich where it's like you're making 30-footers even though it's just a 2 because you can? Like, is that what we're doing out there before the 3-point line was invented? There is something along those lines of be a tiny bit more selective, which is weird coming from me, because normally I'm like, don't be precious, let it fly. There's a little bit of that. The other things we like, Dennis, I know you brought up some advanced analytics stats to me off air of how dominant the Aho line was.
Yeah, especially going against Tom Wilson, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Connor McMichael. They're absolutely all over the ice on them. For example, when Aho's line was out there against Dubois, McMichael, and Wilson, the shot attempts with Aho on the ice against that crew was 23-2.
Pretty darn good.
23-2. And just in terms of 5-on-5.
Yep. And leading with that is fantastic. The flip side is, like, Sebastian Aho, right? He needs to, in order for the Canes to reach their highest potential, he needs to be a guy that can take 23 shot attempts for his line and find the back of the net more, set up his guys for gimmies more. But I'm not worried about it because he's going to have his moments, right? We've talked about this in the past. If you're going to choose between your stars having an off night and your supporting cast having an off night, you choose the stars because you're most confident they'll bounce back. You're most confident they can force their way into a rhythm with pure talent. Jarvis is going to have his moments. There were points in time where, you'd go half a period and you'd be like, has Jarvis done much? You forgot about it. That's not going to happen often. And it usually means he's doing so many of the little things that we don't notice that are using his energy and attention in other ways. Like, those guys will be fine. They'll have their moments. Same is true, and there's no real there's no real excuse for something like this, but Shane Gostisbehere was out of character last night. Right? I've sung the praises of how quickly decisive he is. Puck does not grow roots when it's in his possession, but I mean the goal kind of directly off of him mishandling a puck at one point, and this is not an exaggeration. He had a beautiful leak out pass for the other team.
Yeah, for Ryan Leonard on that breakaway in the third. Beautiful pass right on the tape.
Nice little outlet. Really, I don't know, maybe he thought Freddie needed to look alive, so he just gave one back the other direction. I don't think he will have many perfect outlet passes to Ryan Leonard in the future, right? There are certain parts of the game that were obviously like, ooh, don't love that, but also, ooh, I'm not going to worry about that becoming the new norm because I trust the players that are involved. There's not going to be a ton of games where Aho and Jarvis don't produce points. I don't believe from this point forward there will be many games where those two guys are not super productive. I also don't think Shane Gostisbehere is going to be a guy who, goes 10 years in the NHL and then suddenly forgets how to protect the puck in the offensive zone, especially as a guy that quarterbacks power plays and things and has a ton of experience seeing the full ice. It was not perfect by any stretch, but there wasn't a ton there that makes me go, they better fix that by the next one. Part of it is just like, all right, then, that was an off moment for somebody I trust. I'm not going to burn all of our trust because of an off moment.
Yeah, they had a ton of shot attempts, as we discussed, but a ton of them blocked. Again, give credit to Washington for willing to step into those lanes, but it's also on you as a shooter, especially on the blue line, to make sure those shots get through. Whether it's a quick lateral step or maybe get the puck off your stick a little bit faster. But also, when the puck does get through, got to have more bodies just in front of the net. It's not unironic that Slavin's game winner shot that gets past the first guy, and guess who's standing right there in front of the net? It's Jarvis.
Yep.
And guess what? I got to give a ton of credit for Slavin, Jarvis, and Martinook on that game-winning goal because none of those guys were tied up. Like Slavin kind of was, but his stick was down on the ice free. So if the puck does hit off Thompson's pad, it's literally right to Stahl's stick, and he's banging home a rebound.
Yep.
All of it that's what they needed more of from the game.
Going into one commercial break, they did play a little montage of Canes blocking Canes shots where they just couldn't get out of the way. And literally I'm going like, just get out of your own way. That's not even a phrase. That's not a turn of words at the moment. Like literally get out. And eventually they did, right? Eventually they did. So as goofy as it looks when they play it in slow motion in a montage going into a commercial break, and it's just Gostisbehere letting it rip and Martinook trying to get small and taking it off the shoulder. As goofy as it looks, it does mean you're in the right spot. It does mean your fundamentals are there. You're 1% off, and that's all the difference until you're not 1% off, and then Slavin gets the goal and he puts his arms up and everyone runs around him like he's Rocky after running around Philly. It was he doesn't think this way, but there's going to be some cool pictures for his man cave later on, right after that.
Oh, yeah.
Happy for Slavin. And also, Slavin, offensive threat. He now has maybe the two prettiest goals of the postseason. Maybe not prettiest, this one, but the obvious highlights in the first round against the Devils was that game 4.
Yeah.
Now he has the game winner in overtime to start the second round. That's, Slavin. Come on, man. Give me a goal a game now. Let's open it up. Show everybody that you're not the best defensive defenseman in the league. You're not only that, I should say, but also an offensive threat. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll continue to recap Autopsy, the Canes win in Game 1 over the Caps, while also understanding Game 2's tomorrow. There's already, you're not. You don't get the 24-hour rule in the NHL postseason to go ahead and celebrate. It's like a 24-minute rule. By the time coach is done with his post-game speech, you're already on to the next. So we'll start turning the page as well. Here on the show, we'll turn the page to the Dean's List. And I can tell you this, Dennis, for the third time in the last 2 weeks, you're going to be exceptionally proud of me for a Dean's List selection. Stick around.
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the shot.
Let's go, Canes!
The Chetkov stop. It's on the goal line behind him. He does a snow angel in the paint.
Go, Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we want to be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle sports leader.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places that I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Need CPAP supplies fast? I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers, and we are the Triangle's top sleep provider, offering quick access to the equipment you need for better sleep. Get the right supplies right when you need them. With over 20 years of experience, our expert team is here to help you sleep better, sooner.
Discover why so many trust Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. Visit parkwaysleep.com now and start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code YEAR to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
Orloff turns. He's got some room to work with. Plays it along the boards. He'll get it to Hall. Hall has it knocked away. Bouncing puck. Canes come up with it with a chance. They score! Logan Stankoven buries it, and the Canes have tied this at 1.
Mr. Game 1. How perfect would it be if the Canes end up with like somebody that's a Mr. Game 1, somebody that's Mr. Game 2, somebody that's Mr. Game 3, and they just all own it. They're just like, it's my turn, guys. I'm going to go score today. It's game 4. This will be my day for a 2-goal game.
I'm gonna go start looking up Sebastian Aho's game 5 history.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna do that right now, actually.
Justin Williams has to anoint whoever Mr. Game 7 is gonna be. I have deemed you Mr. Game 7. And then it's they just own that game, right? You win or lose, they're the ones that gotta have to speak first to the media. Even if you lose, it's well, this is on me. I'm Mr. Game 3. I was supposed to show up and make it happen, but obviously, if that's the case, Stankoven, rookie, just claimed property. He just walked up and said, "Game 1's mine. How you like me now?" The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the Dean's List. Let's go ahead and put class in session. All right, so this is how the Dean's List works. It's a right Dean's List. It's a school thing. If you're smart, you know about it. If not, you're like that list that all the good students were on. So we highlight those in the college sports world that have made some kind of noise or made some kind of performance accolade that deserves a little extra praise. One of these, actually, we just start with it. Dennis, you're going to be very proud of me.
Okay.
We've got a lacrosse player.
Oh, go on.
Dylan Hess.
Yes.
Who was drafted to the Carolina Chaos in the PLL college draft. 4th round, 28th pick. So 28th pick sounds more impressive than 4th round.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why I picked Dylan Hess? He was drafted off the University of Florida. We're talking Gators club lacrosse team. Club.
Yeah.
Now, he did play at Georgetown prior. And I guess wanted to chase a master's degree, so he transferred to Florida.
Yeah,
and he had already used all his college lacrosse eligibility, so he played club lacrosse at Florida, and then got drafted into professional lacrosse.
Yeah. I mean, he was an honorable mention All-American a couple times at Georgetown.
Yeah, he was drafted last year, and then decided, no, I'm going to go play club. Then got drafted again.
Yep.
That's kind of baller. He took a gap year and was just like, I'm just going to go play with my buddies over here. We're going to grab beers after games, like at club lacrosse.
I think he was trying to walk onto the football team at Florida.
Okay.
It didn't quite work out, I guess, in terms of playing football this past year. So obviously he's like, okay, I'm going to go keep playing club lax. And yeah, got drafted into the PLL.
That is the dream. I remember after our eligibility was up, meaning I played college football at the University of Delaware. We have that spring semester after we're done, right? A couple of guys went and played in the intramural flag football league.
Oh, there you go.
And we went to watch. We were like, this is incredible. You guys are lighting it up. And then, of course, it became kind of not fun because they were Division I football players out there running plays against the science club. But
check.
Yeah, literally easy. Orange, Ralph, orange. It's like, all right, you guys, you win. All right, cool.
Everyone else over there's like,
we're just
you guard that guy.
Yeah, we're just trying to get a little cardio in midweek, relax. But that's the dream, and then he still gets to go play professional lacrosse for the Carolina Chaos.
That's right. He's one of us now. Welcome home, Dylan.
Do you have another Dean's List member?
I was actually going to throw out all the guys that were drafted into the PLL last night. So I guess that includes Dylan Hess.
I beat you to it. Bet you didn't expect that.
Here's the thing. It's difficult. It's only 32 guys get drafted into the PLL every year. Just 32 of all of lacrosse.
So basically the first round of the NFL draft if it just stopped there.
Basically. That's it.
Congratulations. We'll throw this one out there. This is like a formal award, but We'll second it. Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski.
Okay.
He was he was announced as part of the Hall of Fame class for 2025 for the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Hall of Fame. He coached the United States men's basketball Olympic squad to 3 basketball gold medals. Here's the rest of I want to know what you have to do to get expedited into the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Hall of Fame. Because here's the group going in with Coach K. 7-time gold medal sprinter Allison Felix, 4-time Olympic tennis champion Serena Williams, gymnastics champion Gabby Douglas, who won the all-round, skiing's Bodie Miller. Remember Bodie Miller? Beach volleyball player Carrie Walsh Jennings, and Nike founder Phil Knight. Obviously, Nike, they had the partnership for a long time, so that one's in its own category. But how are the others not already in the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Hall of Fame? Kerry Walsh-Jennings, I mean, she was winning like every beach volleyball and turning that whole thing into an event like 2 decades ago, like the Sydney Olympics, whenever that was. I don't know, it just seems like they all should have been in already. But Coach K, obviously Duke longtime coach, into another Hall of Fame. How many Hall of Fames do you think that guy's in?
Too many to count.
Yeah.
All of them?
Kind of. Anything related to basketball. And then last one here for you. Davion Goss, running back for UNC.
Okay.
There's I'm searching for UNC football nuggets, right? And because Bill Belichick's there and all this. And everything I've heard about Omarion Hampton in the NFL world, last year's UNC running back, is how he's this workhorse. And he had this massive workload on his plate at UNC, and how he proved his volume and production, and how and I went, that's a lot of carries that are now just vacant for this UNC team. And then every time I hear anything about the UNC quarterbacks, right, that Coach Bill Belichick is bringing in, it's well, I thought they would have done this or not that, or Max Johnson might be okay, or this guy's coming from the group of 5 and he's getting paid and they're still looking and all that. And I'm going like, well, if they're not super confident in their quarterback situation, that's even more running game from a defensive-minded, control-the-clock coach. Goss has to be sitting there like, hey, I'm going to have 1,000 carries this year. And I just like that a guy, waited his time, had a decent game last year when Omarion got hurt against Charlotte, and then obviously took a back seat. I like guys that, kind of time it out and go, all right, now I get an opportunity. So I'm rooting for him. This is your chance this year. Work extra hard. No carbs. You know what I mean? Go all out this year to be a workhorse, because there's carries available. And that goes for all of the UNC running backs. I just picked kind of the most likely one to take the bulk of the carries. There you go. That's the Dean's List. Let's dismiss it. Here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan, there was one of the teams, this will be the tease, one of the teams in the Triangle, college basketball, received a commitment from the transfer portal today. I'll tell you which team, and I'll tell you what that player brings to the table in just a minute, because right now we need to hear details on last night's Canes win over the Caps, and I'm excited to hear how our very own Adam Gold works the number 2 into his headline, because it's 2 minutes of gold with Adam Gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 players and 2 moments of brilliance in a 2-1 overtime win for the Hurricanes as they take a 1-0 lead over the Capitals, on the road no less, in their round 2. A lot of 2s here. Eastern Conference semifinal series. All right, and it's all brought to you by Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. So, Alexi Protas scores early in the second period. Carolina's trailing a game 1-0 that they have dominated in terms of puck possession. Not great scoring chances, but they've got the puck. And when you have the puck, theoretically, the other team can't score. So that is by design. Don't get the criticism of Carolina throughout the game because they haven't scored. We've seen this before. We watch Hurricanes hockey. But the more you have it, and the more you generate, and the more pressure you put on the other team, the greater your chances are of eventually breaking through. In middle of the third period, the Kotkaniemi line on the ice forces Washington into a bad turnover. Jesperi to Logan Stankoven, and we're even.
Bouncing puck. Canes come up with it with a chance. They score! Logan Stankoven buries it, and the Canes have tied this at 1.
There you go. Moment of brilliance 1. Moment of brilliance 2 happens in the overtime early because as the Hurricanes are designed to play, shots from deep with a bunch of bodies in front, and you never know.
Right point. Slavin with a chance. They score! They score! In overtime! Jacob Slavin lets it go from the point, and Carolina has taken game number 1 here in Washington.
That was Jacob Slavin's first ever playoff overtime game winner. I have no idea how it got all the way through. and past Logan Thompson because there didn't seem to be any room to get the puck through all those bodies, but it happened. And again, by design. This is the way the Hurricanes play. Here's the thing, I keep hearing about how Washington is going to play better in Game 2. I trust they will. But I think Carolina's got another level to get to as well in Game 2. Because there are 3 levels to the way the Hurricanes play. There's defense, there's puck possession, and then there's generating scoring chances from that possession. And I don't think Carolina was great at that. They'll get better. They hit 5 flipping posts. My gosh, there's more goals in that game. Canes 2-1, overtime, 1-0 lead in the series. ParkwaySleep.com. Start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Center. Sound sleep, sound health. Sound the alarms for a Slavin game winner.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you very much to Adam Gold for breaking down his insight into the Canes win in Game 1 of the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs over the Washington Capitals. Still a long series. I think it's going to be a really fun series. I don't think there's a direction it can go where the entertainment value doesn't go up. If the Canes take a 2-0 lead, you know what Washington's game plan is, right? Hissy fits, try to drag it into the mud and see if the Canes won't follow them there and get caught up. If Washington wins and it's 1-1, then we just have a super competitive NHL, still the different styles clashing as they bring it on back to Carolina. And like there's really no direction it can go where I don't think the entertainment value gets real impressive.
By the way, I don't think that's our last overtime game of the series. I would not be shocked if we had at least obviously at least one more. Wouldn't be shocked if we have 2 more overtime games.
I agree with that. And by the way, this is not after watching an overtime game we're getting caught up in it and like if you go back and listen to the show yesterday, right? At one point there, I forget what the question was. We were talking about if there will be fisticuffs thrown. And you pointed out that really the only way it would legitimately happen in a Game 1 is if it's like a 4-1 or a 4-0 game and you're trying to send a message for the next. And I went, I don't think it's going to be 4-0 or 4-1. I think this one's going to be close. And then sure enough, it went to overtime.
Quitting hitting so many posts. Maybe it would have been 4-1.
At times it felt like it should have been 3-zippy. And it was actually 0-1. So there's always that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will continue to check up on that. And one of our producers here at 99.9 The Fan, Max, he was actually in the building up there in Washington. So
boots on the ground.
We're going to check in on the Heister Automotive Group hotline with him in a couple minutes to see what it felt like in the building to be the amongst enemy territory Canes fan. But first, Duke basketball got a transfer. Rice Transfer Center, Ifeanyi Ufochukwu, I believe is how you pronounce that. If it's incorrect, I will work on it, I promise. But he has signed with Duke, according to 247 Sports. He is a 6'11", 240-pound big man who played in 16 games for Rice in the 2023-2024 season, played in 9 games for Rice the previous year, that's the 2022-2023 season, and redshirted this past year at Rice. This fills a need for Duke, and it's one we've talked about on the show, right? They needed depth at big, right? They I believe, are very confident in Pat Gongba as a starting big for them, who really came on late in the season and kind of sparked some things, particularly on offense. But they needed someone else that was comfortable defending the rim. Kaman Malawash, obviously not coming back. He's going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. You want the taller Boozer not to have to worry about defending the rim. So, and Malik Brown and some other really good defenders, you want them to be able to use their versatility and go away from the bucket, even though they're listed at 6'9". You bring in Icky, as I believe he is colloquially known to his friends. He's somebody that if Gongba gets in foul trouble, if he has a tweak and he needs to miss a couple games due to an injury, or if you need a double big lineup or something like that, you can bring him in. It goes into what John Shire is kind of establishing as his roster building technique for Duke, which is you go to the portal for specific roles and specific needs. You go to the high school recruiting ranks for the stars, right? You get the Boozer twins. You get Haminia. who is a top 20 recruit in the country. Those guys are going to come in and be the sizzle. Then you look to the transfer portal to fill in the gaps as far as skills around them. You need more rim protection, you go get a player like a 6'11 transfer from Rice. You need more shooting. Maybe that's where Cedric Coward comes into play from Washington State, who's a 40% shooter from three, although his name is still in the draft. There is a specific need. You can go shop specifically for that in the portal. Then, for your charisma and star and all the Q score, you go grab somebody out of high school. This is also one of the transfers. I'm not blaming Duke for it because if it's the way the system is set up, use it to your advantage. It is basically just outsourcing your player development to Rice. Rice got a player who I'm assuming was a raw 6'11", 200 and something pound big with potential. Poured 3 years into him, redshirted him a year. He played 25 games over 2 years, right? They averaged like 2 or 3 points a game. They did not see massive returns on the investment, and now he's going to Duke, where everything he's learned over the last 3 years will be contributing towards their pursuit of a national championship. It is basically outsourcing your development, right? Instead of bringing in a player and saying like, oh, I think in 3 years he could be good, so let's work with him. Let's get him with our staff. Let's get him in our training room, in our strength and conditioning center. Instead, you go, I like this guy when he's a high school recruit. He's got potential. Let's remember to call his people 3 years from now after he goes somewhere else and works. Let's see if he develops into what we want him to. I don't know if that's the best for college basketball, but it's good thing for Duke, and it's a good thing for all the programs that can do that, right? Just go plucking things off the transfer portal shelf. There you go. That is my take on Duke getting Rice center Ifeanyi Ufechukwu, who has signed with Duke according to 247 Sports, 6'11", 240-pounder with some experience, although not massive amounts of volume. Right now, joining us, I believe, on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, just waiting for the thumbs up that he is connected up. Joining us in the Heister Automotive Group hotline is 99.9 The Fan's very own producer, Max. You've heard him on this show, filling in for Dennis. You've heard him on other shows, filling in for other producers. But he was in Washington last night for Game 1 of the second-round NHL Stanley Cup playoffs series between the Canes and Washington. Max, what's going on, man? The first thing I want to know is going into Washington, going into Capital One, what was the attire? Were you obviously repping the Canes? Were we like in a bright red Jarvis jersey? What were we looking at?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that because as I was heading into the arena, a couple of Washington fans come to me and they're like, oh, hey, man, like, let's go Canes. We kind of pulls down the collar of his Capsters to reveal a Whalers team, Hurricanes team. He's like, we got free tickets. We're just trying to blend in. I could not say the same. I was wearing the 25th anniversary Aho jersey with my Hurricane shorts, so I was definitely loud and proud.
Okay, so how was the reception? Like walking to the seats, was it a hostile environment?
No, I wouldn't say so at all. Honestly, I have a lot of respect for the Caps fans. I didn't really get any chirps whatsoever. The few Canes fans you run into, fist bumps, a couple "Let's go Canes," but really didn't face any hostility, which was pretty nice. So hat tip to them.
All right, so the fans were cordial. What was the atmosphere in the building? Right, obviously the Caps just won in the first round, their first postseason series since they hoisted the cup a handful of years ago. What was their energy like, and how did it translate to the game?
Well, I mean, it was good. I'm not going to say that it was a bad crowd, as much as maybe you'd like to, right, as a divisional rival. I will say I was a little taken aback at how many seats were empty kind of early in the game, and you could tell because of the rally towels, red rally towels set out on the seats. A couple rows up in the upper level that normally would be full at a game at Lenovo in a playoff game, but that's neither here nor there. It was a good crowd, fairly loud, fairly full. I will say the loudest thing they have there is that horn. They absolutely blare that thing when they get on the ice, and you're ready for it, and it still gets you every time.
We're talking with our very own 99.9 The Fan's own producer, Max, who was in Washington for last night's Game 1 of the second-round series between the Canes and the Caps. How satisfying was it to be one of the Canes fans in attendance when Slavin scored the game winner in overtime?
I mean, it was, you can hardly describe how satisfying that is to go on the road and steal the overtime win, but I feel like steal is probably not the right terminology, but just kind of how the game flow went. It kind of felt like stealing it, having been trailing for a majority of the game. But it was really nice. And, you could see the couple Canes fans at every section who stand up and cheer. From my angle, I couldn't even see it go in because I was at the other end of the ice. But you see the red light go on and all the players start celebrating. All of a sudden, just seeing all the Caps fans start flooding for the exits, it felt really nice.
There was so much traffic. I don't think you were alone. I think there were players on the ice that didn't know it went in. So not saying you missed much. What do you think is the transition? What, like, from game 1 to game 2? Not a lot of time, right? Just Tuesday to Thursday. Was there anything you saw as far as attitude or anything that we wouldn't know watching on TV that you think will transition and carry over to game 2?
No, I mean, I didn't see anything kind of out of the ordinary for the team's methodology. I saw that they opted not to practice today and also no morning skate tomorrow, just to kind of lean on the rest. And they looked well rested. I mean, domination a lot of the way the first period. It felt like the Caps hardly had any offensive zone time other than the one power play there. And it showed in the stats, too, what shot attempts were, like 94 to 34 for the full game. So I think they stick to what they're used to, stick to the process. It's going well. We'll see what happens with Jankowski. I know he left with an injury, but, I mean, they came out. It's not what you typically see in a playoff road game from the Canes in recent years, and they've done a good job to kind of dispel the stigma with that.
Now, you're currently in the airport up there, still in D.C., correct?
Yes, I am in the airport, hoping to get on this standby flight that takes off in about an hour, and not looking great, so it might be a late night here.
All right. So if you have to speak in code, if there's angry Caps fans around you, that's fine. Just answer the question. Honestly, did the Caps look as slow in person as they looked on TV, chasing around the maybe faster and more svelte Canes skaters?
I mean, it certainly didn't look great for them. There were a couple of Caps fans who ended up sitting down a couple seats away from me starting the second period, and they remarked multiple times during the game, like, what are they doing in their own end? Like, what's up with these turnovers? And they'd come to me and be like, you guys should be ahead right now. And I'd be like, a lot of Canes games end up going this way. But, I mean, it did look like they were a little out of sorts, and maybe the kind of rust factor was there. You know, there's always a debate with the refs versus rust, but basically same amount of layoff for the Canes as well, and they looked sharp and ready to go from the opening whistle.
Max, we appreciate you for the insider insight into the action up there in D.C. Fly safe back, and we'll see you when you get back to the station.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be back in tomorrow morning. Appreciate it, guys.
There you go. Producer Max, boots on the ground up there in Washington. And I mean, flying back today, right, probably not going to be up there for tomorrow's action. He's got to do some work. But if Canes lose, then we just have to make sure Max gets to all the games, right? For the superstitious people out there, we would have to take that on ourselves. Right, if you win with Max in attendance and then you lose, you gotta get back up there.
Start a GoFundMe. Let's get Max back up there for game 2.
Wearing the same 25th anniversary jersey. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, let's start a GoFundMe for me to get my Holy Grail watch. How about that? Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Maybe not that. We don't have to start the GoFundMe, but wouldn't have to be that high because they have some sweet deals going on right now at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Mother's Day knocking on the door, right? Coming up just around the corner. This year, give mom something unforgettable from Bailey's Fine Jewelry or the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, right? Watches aren't just for dads, everybody out there. Moms love a good luxury timepiece as well. Fox & Bailey has the finest selection of iconic brands, from Omega to pre-owned Rolex, right? And they all the dials, they don't all have to be 44 millimeters, right? If she wants something that still makes a statement but maybe fits her wrist, you can find something in the 36 millimeter, right? A little bit smaller, but just as classy, just as iconic as the others, right? They also have Blancpains, Glashütte Original, Hamilton, Norcanes. If mom wants a watch, get mom a watch. But if a watch isn't her thing, we can hook you up as well. Bailey's has the largest selection of designer and fine jewelry in the area. We're thinking traditional, right? Sparkling diamonds. Can't go wrong. Classic styles. Pieces that will make her eyes light up. And here's the deal I was talking about. Right now, Mother's Day sale, up to 20% off select items in-store only. That's serious savings on something she will treasure forever. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry or the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. That one's the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop located inside their Village District location in Raleigh. And show Mom how much she means to you. And when you're there, picking something up for Mom, let them know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4 is coming up next, and under the radar, big decision for the Panthers has been made. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
A record in sports that would be a big deal if it was broken and we'd all be in on it is 100 points in a game in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, big time.
If I told you within the next 20 years in the NBA, somebody would score 101 points in one game.
I could see it. Couldn't you see a team just waving the white flag and another team taking advantage of that?
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in the Triangle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Soccer fans, the North Carolina Courage, the Triangle's premier professional women's soccer team, and first Horizon Stadium at WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary is the place to be, to believe, become, and belong. This season's match nights are packed with entertainment. Come out on May 10th as the Courage take on the Orlando Pride, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield NC. Make First Horizon Stadium at WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary and the North Carolina Courage your place to believe, become, and belong. Grab your fan gear and visit nccourage.com to get tickets today.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. More pretty weather in our forecast. Feeling nice out there this afternoon. Warm with a high of 81, but our humidity is low. We will see a slight increase in cloud cover as we get into the latter part of the afternoon. 60 overnight tonight, and then tomorrow's high, 83 degrees. We'll also continue to see an increase in our cloud cover and a late day or evening thunderstorms.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 284 points to 41,113. Market update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Football at 4. Here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. In true offensive line fashion, there was a very big decision made by the Panthers like a week ago, and we're going to get to it now, right? Because offensive line.
It was like right after the first round of the draft, I think, is when they announced
so it's actually more than a week ago. We're going to get to it now because the offensive line, you take a back seat. I don't know what you want. It happens. You're aware of it, right? When you sign up for that position. The Panthers quietly picked up the fifth-year option of Icky Ekwonu. Their left tackle, former NC State offensive lineman, former top 10 pick in the draft, who has had a up and down career in his 3 years with Carolina. Granted, I'd like to give him all benefit of the doubt. Hasn't been put in the best situations from a coaching standpoint for his entire 3 years. But they picked up his fifth-year option, which is a big commitment. It's a big financial commitment, and it's a commitment to give him more opportunities to earn opportunities. I also want to be clear on the timing of it. Dennis, what you said, it was right after the first round, right?
Yeah, it was right after the first round or right after the second round. I think it was right after the first round.
It was right after the first round, and they revealed it in kind of their recap presser.
Yeah, like, by the way, we picked up his fifth-year option.
Everybody's excited about Teteroa McMillan. We know that's where all the questions are going to be. We'll throw an offensive lineman fifth-year option at you. Sweep that one under the rug. The timing matters there to me. You do it before the first round, it's a huge vote of confidence. You do it after the first round, we needed to see if someone we liked better fell into our laps. And, since the board didn't go the way where an offensive lineman was coming at us at pick 8, now, yeah, I guess we'll pick you up, right? It's a different level of vote of confidence to do it pre and post draft. You could argue, all right, well, they knew that they weren't going to, put a second rounder over him, so they did it between. But like the message sent to me is, yeah, we're giving you another year, but this wasn't a slam dunk, right? There are other guys in his draft class that got their fifth-year options picked up, and they could have been picked up like 6 games into their career. They would have been like, yep, stamp it. We want that extra year of control. This one, they labored over. And rightfully so, right? They're the two most important people on the field to Bryce Young's development are his blindside protector and his number 1 wide receiver. They spent a lot of draft capital on his number 1 wide receiver with Teteroa McMillan, and they should put an equal amount of thought into who's going to be his blindside protector, and they've decided at least for another year or two it's Icky Ekwonu. And Icky, for his side of things, has said all along he wants to be in Carolina long-term, and here's part of what he told the media about that, wanting to stay with the Panthers for a long time.
I mean, I have no timeline, honestly. I let my agent and Dan and everybody kind of figure that out for themselves. But I mean, obviously, all parties involved know I want to be here in Carolina long term. So hopefully we can get that done. I'm definitely grateful and excited for this fifth-year option. I definitely appreciate that, and I definitely know that that's moving in the right direction for hopefully a long-term deal coming up in the future.
So here's what it is. And here's what a rookie contract is, if we're being real. A rookie contract is an audition. And it's not a low-stakes audition. If you pass the audition, if you smash, you knock it out of the park, talking like $25 million a year is your reward. So it is a major, major audition. There's a magnificent promotion up, and your boss swings by and goes, hey, just so you know, we're going to be paying attention to you extra hard over the next 3 months. And how you do in the next 3 months decides whether you double your salary and get the corner office or whether you stay in the role you're in. You're going to do everything you can to get better, right? You're making extra calls, right? The numbers on your phone are going to wear out because you're making so many cold calls. So, assuming this is some kind of sales position. Icky Ekwonu, focus on being better from play to play. That's how he described what his focus is going to be on.
The way I feel like it still boils down to consistency. And I feel like I say that almost every year now. But that's kind of the position I play. That's how you make your money. That's really how you lead a team, is being consistent day in and day out. So for me, really just building more and more consistency in my play.
Here's the consistency I'm looking for. I don't even know if it's consistency is the word. If you watch a game, then yeah, it's consistency. It's being good play to play to play. But I actually think it's type of play. Now, Dennis, what's your vibe on Pro Football Focus, PFF?
I take it with a grain of salt.
Okay, that's what we'll do here.
Yeah, I do. I take it with a grain of salt.
Because offensive linemen simply don't have, yards per target like a wide receiver or completion. Like, they don't have the stats that we can point to look at how a player's doing. Wide receiver, we know if he catches balls against man versus zone, right? We know if he's depth of target. Like, we can put numbers on that. Offensive line, it's basically like sacks allowed, and there you go. But then you also have PFF grade, Pro Football Focus grade. Their shtick is they watch every game, every play, and on tape evaluation give a grade. Pro Football Focus, take it with a grain of salt, but these numbers are drastic, had Icky Ekwonu as the 11th best run-blocking tackle in the NFL. That's very good. And that adds up with his reputation. He's a mauler in the run game. They had him as the 65th best pass-blocking tackle in the NFL last year. I mean, if you do the math, there's only 64 starters. So that means, right, there's 2 tackles starting, and then guys get hurt, and other guys get enough snaps to qualify. But that puts him as outside of even starting at, off tackle, let alone blindside tackle. So the consistency to me is play in and play out being great. It's being as great in pass protection as you are in run blocking, while also strengthening your strengths and going from 11th best run blocker to 3rd, right? You want to keep getting better at everything, but you drastically need to improve as a pass blocker. Again, according to PFF, taking it with a grain of salt, because I think it's really hard to give a tape grade without knowing the play call and without knowing what your responsibilities are and all of that. And it's not like offensive coordinators are calling up PFF and saying, hey, on this play we were fan protecting and the he's going to get a chip from the tight end or anything like that. Like there's you don't get that information. Here's the best news for Icky Ekwonu, and here's why I like picking up his 5th-year option. He was much better last year than he was second year. He actually was pretty good his rookie year. Second year took a dip, but that was also the year where they had a bunch of different play caller changes. The coach got fired after 11 days. It was the Frank Reich year. Or Frank Reich half a year, followed up by, I mean, we don't have to go relitigate that mess all over again.
You think in his first 4 years he's had 5 people with the title of head coach at some point? In his first 3 years? Because he had Matt Rule, yes, Steve Wilkes, and then Frank Reich and Chris Tabor, and now Dave Canales?
So
it's a lot.
It's a good bit that he improved from the year before once he got around Dave Canales and that coaching staff. The other good news is he's 24 years old. Going into year 4, he's 24 years old. I looked it up. The Lions drafted Tate Ratledge, an offensive lineman out of Georgia, in the 2nd round. That's a premier pick. He is also 24 years old, and he was drafted this like just a couple of weeks ago. The same time they picked up Icky Ekwonu's 5th-year option, Ratledge was picked within 24 hours of that decision. 2nd rounder to the Lions, who's a team that has drafted well. So you can still bet on Icky as a development guy. Like, you can still look at it something that he doesn't do well and say, I think he's going to get better at that. There becomes a point where you stop making those kind of bets, right? If you have an offensive lineman that's been in the league 6 years and he's 28 years old and he's, played thousands and thousands and thousands of snaps, you go, all right, maybe I should stop projecting what he can do and just start judging him what he is. Icky Ekwonu, I do think you can still, for at least another year or two, take some bets on. I think it can still click for him in this aspect. You better hope it does, because that would make your job a lot easier to have left tackle taken care of. And also, and I've said this a billion times, I love offensive lines with experience together. Like, all 5 starters out there, you know the calls, you know how they like to do things. Chemistry is important. They are returning all 5 starters. And I don't expect Robert Hunt to go anywhere anytime soon. Left guard, who will be next to Icky Ekwonu. So those 2 guys will only get better and better and better at working together.
Yeah, Damian Lewis is under contract for 3 more years at left
guard.
guard.
Yep. Oh, sorry, Damian Lewis. What did I say?
Yeah.
Robert Hunt's at the other side.
And Hunt's got 4 more years left on his deal as a right guard. So question is going forward is, what about Taylor Moton on the right side? He's in the last year of his contract. He's on the other side of 30. Maybe the Carolina Panthers look to, and if they like Icky, they like him as a run blocker, but they find someone that can play left tackle right away. Maybe they kick him over to the right side. Who knows?
There's that possibility as well. Right tackles, although they're getting paid a lot more this offseason, they traditionally don't get paid as much as left, so he's going to fight and claw for that left job as long as your quarterback's right-handed. Go watch a movie, Blindside, Michael Orr. You can learn all about it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Talk about going to learn all about it. Give Miller Lending a call and ask about their no closing cost loan, because it sounds at times too good to be true, right? And sometimes other mortgage lenders and brokers advertise something similar, and then you call up and you realize it's a bit of a bait and switch, right? Like, oh, no closing costs. And then you show up and they're like, well, this is a executive surcharge. And you're like, okay, it costs the same as closing costs. You just renamed it. No, Gordon Miller and Miller Lending, they have no closing costs. They are the home of the no-cost loan. Zero means zero. No means no in this scenario, right? They're not just renaming it or repackaging it and charging it to you in a different way. If you want to learn more, give them a call, right? They'll explain it. That's the beauty about having something that you do better than anyone else is, call us up. We'd love to talk about it. Who doesn't like to talk about what they're really good at, especially if it helps you? So give them a call. They're locally owned right here in Cary. You'll be talking to someone locally. The number is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that is millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We have the Cup check-in with Adam Gold, presented by Carolina Ale House, coming up. And maybe the most all-time just skated by ladder challenge for me last night. Stick around.
Let's go! It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the chance.
Let's go, Canes!
The Chetkov, stop! It's on the goal line behind him! He does a snow angel in the paint!
Go, Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we want to be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle sports leader.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same-game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets, like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I don't think we solved this problem last time, but the plural of roofs is actually roofs. We debated it. Merriam-Webster says roofs. You guys have all sorts of roofs.
All the roofs.
Run them down for me.
So we have metal roofing. We have asphalt shingle roofing. Primarily, we're doing asphalt shingles, unmatched warranties. We are a CertainTeed certified contractor, which means they've certified us to install their products properly. We are one of the few few companies that hand nail all of our roofs.
Roofs?
And yeah, so we come out, do an assessment of your roof. If there's any rotten, deteriorated wood around the perimeters, we can take care of that and give you a price right on the spot. So it's a pretty easy process, and we'd love to come out and talk to you.
And the price is going to surprise people. Real quick, what's the benefit of hand nailing?
A lot of these companies that are doing it, they're just not taking their time. These nails are going too far through the shingles. You get a windstorm after the fact, you got shingles in the backyard. People call us and say, hey, what do we do? The answer is to redo your roof.
800-672-4348, aluminumcompany.com.
Heineken Silver is a world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. It keeps things light and refreshing all year round. It's like rain showing up to cool things off and then politely leaving. It's like cracking open a window and nailing the cross breeze. So, as we move into the warmer weather, grab a crisp and refreshing Heineken Silver and taste the difference. Only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Available at your local Heineken retailer or for delivery at Heineken.com/silver now. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Behind the net, Martin Hook. It'll come out. Right point. Slavin with a chance. They score! They score! In overtime! Jacob Slavin lets it go from the point, and Carolina has taken game number 1 here in Washington.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Canes won Game 1, Stanley Cup playoffs, Round 2 against the Caps last night in D.C. They were favored in the game. Took overtime, Jacob Slavin with the game winner. It is time, as it is often throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs, it is time for a Cup check-in with Adam Gold, presented by Carolina Ale House. The next game also on the road, so make sure you take note of this. You can head out to Carolina Ale House in Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs. That's Carolina Ale House in Cary. For the Cup check-in today, Adam Gold checking in with a familiar voice and Springfield College alum. My mom also attended Springfield College. Shout out to the birthplace of basketball. John Forslund joined Adam Gold for the Cup check-in, so here's that.
What was your read on last night in Washington?
I was pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed on how well the Canes came out of the gate. They took over the game right off the hop. They controlled possession. That was pretty obvious. As the game went along, they just stayed true to their system. They didn't get frustrated. They frustrated Washington. Now, did Washington play poorly? Yes. We'll find out tomorrow night if Spencer Carberry can adjust their game to what he should be expecting. I don't think they were surprised by the way the Hurricanes play. Nobody is. No. Everybody knows what's coming, what style of game it is. It's how you handle it. Can they handle it? Can they break the puck out efficiently? Can they get to their forecheck better? Can they be a little bit smarter with their physicality than they were? You're not going to run around and hit people without a purpose and win this series. That's not going to work. And you got to have your skating boots on. And to me, they look slow. Are they slow? We'll find out. We'll find out as the series goes along. But I thought Rod had them ready to go. And, Anderson wasn't called upon to do much, but he made some really, really good saves when needed. A couple of goal posts, but the Canes hit the pipe too.
Yeah.
And the only thing I will say is that outnumbered chance, Dubois and Wilson at the very beginning of the game. If that goes in the net, does the game take a turn? Who knows, right? But that's just something to think about because there were some moments within the game, Ryan Leonard's breakaway, there were some moments within the game that were not good for the Hurricanes, even though it looked like a letter-perfect Hurricanes game. But it's good to win on the road. They got it. We'll see where it goes.
I thought for all of their puck possession that Carolina had another gear offensively to turn those into better scoring opportunities. So, the Slavin shot on goal, which won, that's the way those are designed, through traffic. And I didn't think, for the most part, for the first 3 periods, Carolina had good traffic in front of Thompson. I thought he saw basically everything from deep.
I felt the same way as I watched the game, and I was getting frustrated by the constant references to shot attempts and all these different things. In Game 1, Florida-Toronto, on some of these statistics, Florida had 61 shot attempts in that game. The Maple Leafs had 34. The Maple Leafs actually had 10 scoring chances as opposed to 8 by Florida. So my point is sometimes those shot attempts, which will always favor the Hurricanes, the way they play, will always be in their favor. They'll always outshoot the opponent. They'll always have more attempts, end zone time, and all these different things. But it's how you do it. And maybe that's a good thing for them, too, because you always want to come out of a game when you win with something that the coach can get to. And, maybe that's what Rod will address as they get into game 2, because now it's a little bit of house money when you win that first game on the road. Boy, you're in a good spot, going into game 2. You're in a really good spot because there's a ton of pressure on Washington tomorrow night.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was John Forslund, the familiar voice, joining Adam Gold for the Cup check-in presented by Carolina Ale House. Be sure to stop by Carolina Ale House in Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs. Now, I'm still not seeing the field well, but I've won a couple in a row. Let's head to the ladder challenge. All right, Dennis, before I tell my near escape, like the Indiana Jones style, diving under the boulder escape, how did you do last night?
I did all right for myself. I had the Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers game last night. I just needed Jack Eichel of the Vegas Golden Knights to get 2 shots on goal. He got 2 shots on goal in the first period, and then that was it. That's fine. He did all the work I needed in the first period, and that happens to be all the scoring that Vegas did in the first period. Was both their goals came in the first from Mark Stone. But nonetheless, Jack Eichel got me my 2+ shots on goal, so I'm up to $17.77.
So here's how my night went. I watched the Canes game, as I'm sure many of us did. And then afterwards, I had bet yesterday during the ladder challenge on Steph Curry to hit 3 or more threes. He needed to make at least 3 threes versus the Timberwolves in their series, or in their game last night. And Canes game finishes, and I go, all right, let's go pop over to the Warriors game. Pop over, and I get there just in time to hear them saying that Steph Curry is out with an injury. He looked to the bench and immediately said he needed to be replaced. And I went, no way. And the game wasn't that far over. It's not like this was in the fourth quarter. I went, no way. Is this going to cost me? Check the stats. Steph Curry played 13 minutes and knocked down 3 threes before heading to the training room with a hamstring strain. It could be a week, could be 4 weeks. Who knows how it's going to impact the postseason? But I escaped with a winner there. I only needed him to hit 3, and he hit 3 before leaving.
They said today a week is about how long he's going to miss.
As somebody that has dealt with hamstrings, I'll believe it when I see it. If it's bad enough to immediately come up kind of gimpy like he did and then ask for an out, I hope so. I hope he's back 100% in a week. I will believe it when I see it, though. Could be optimistic. Could be trying to keep the Timberwolves on edge. A little gamesmanship. If only it were hockey, they would just say lower body. So he grabbed his hamstring, he limped off. Lower body injury. Could be anything. I believe you are up to what, 17 and 18?
1777. What are you up to?
1734. So you're still ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead and lead us off.
Florida Panthers, Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. They combined for 9 goals last game. I just need them to go over 3.5. So that's my bet today. Over 3.5 goals between the Maple Leafs and the Panthers. That is a -675. So my 1777 will turn into $20.40.
All right. I am going to another threes prop.
Okay.
Tonight, the Celtics play the Knicks. Give me Jason Tatum 2 or more threes versus the Knicks. Just needs to hit 2.
I'm sorry. Did you see how bad they shot last game from 3?
Exactly. You think one of the more prolific three-point shooting teams in the history of the NBA are going to go back-to-back stinkers? Also, after the loss and a backlash of bad press, because they lost game 1 after having a 20-point lead, after all the backlash of bad press towards Tatum, I think he's going to want to control the action. He's going to want to have it on his shoulders, basically on some like, well, if we lose, everybody's going to blame me, and might as well be the one to blame it on. And he's kind of banged up, right? He's dealing with some nagging injuries. So I don't think he wants to take a lot of hits. I don't think he wants to drive to the bucket a ton, but he does want to control the action, so drift to the three-point line, put some shots up. I bet he has 2 in the first half. I just need 2
Okay.
in the game, and that'll turn my 1734 into 1981. Good year, that 1981. Let's go ahead and hear it for Jason Tatum knocking down a whole bunch of threes. If I had to guess, the Celtics could have a big 3-point shooting game. Right, you miss a bunch. There's some hits in that bat. You know what I mean? And they didn't come out last game. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the Ladder Challenge. We are 1 week into May, which means we are about 3 weeks away from that trophy rejoining me here in the host studio.
Okay.
Let's get out of the Ladder Challenge. Let's get to Hit It and Quit It.
I want you to hit it.
I'll lead us all. I'll get us started. Eric Staal back in the NHL as a special assistant to the general manager for the Buffalo Sabres. First of all, the timing. Did he wait until his jersey went up in the rafters for the Canes and then went like, wait another couple months, just wait so it doesn't seem like it, then I'll take the job. Just, let him get my number up there and let it get comfortable before I take a job with another team.
Well, his former teammate Kevin Adams with the Carolina Hurricanes is the general manager up there.
Yeah, so that does make sense.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm actually happy that Eric Staal is back in the NHL. I think it's good for the league. I just think it's he's not yours, Buffalo. He's not. I know he didn't finish his career here, but he's ours.
Maybe he can actually help that franchise make the playoffs. It's been 14 years.
But
I mean, that's no joke there.
Could he be a double secret agent?
Yes.
Rasmus Dahlin for a second rounder.
Well, who is going to give up on defense then?
I'm saying he's just sending it to the Canes.
Oh,
for
I
nothing.
know.
Okay. I don't care what they do up there. He'll figure it out. I'm saying he's a double secret agent. He's gone up there just to help the Canes.
Okay.
No, but I actually do think, if you want to stretch logic a bit, I do think it helps the Canes. The only thing I was worried about when Tulsky took over as GM, and I actually think Eric Tulsky has done a really, really good job. So maybe my concerns were overinflated. But the only thing I worried about was he didn't come with a traditional hockey background, right? He wasn't like an elite junior that bounced around some overseas leagues or anything, and then came up as an assistant like he was kind of an academic guy he has got patents and stuff. So I was just worried about the connections, right? Did he have enough people around the league that he could call and be like, listen, man, be honest with me. Like, we're friends. Give me the skinny. And then, of course, the Mikko Rantanen situation happens. And it turns out that, I don't know, everybody told us that he was interested in re-signing in Carolina. And it doesn't appear like he was ever interested in re-signing in Carolina. So putting Eric Staal up there, Justin Williams is already special assistant here in Carolina. I'm at least confident Justin Williams could call up Eric Staal and go, all right, be real with us. Are you considering moving the pick or not? Be real with us. Who else are you negotiating with? Like, I like having people around the league that the Canes can trust, because that's just good for everything, right? What are you hearing about? You need those guys. And I don't know why I gave Justin Williams that, like, big oaf voice. What are we hearing about? That's not how Justin Williams sounds at all. But it worked. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
You like that? You like that?
So NBA playoffs last night. Tyrese Halliburton decided to do the thing again.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw the stat that was put up. So Tyrese Halliburton, Indiana Pacers, hit a game-winning shot with just a couple seconds left for the Pacers, which he actually missed intentionally a free throw in order to get the ball back, takes a three-pointer, hits it, gives Indiana the lead against Cleveland. They make a defensive stop with like 2 seconds left. He goes on and wins the game. Does a celebration. I can't describe it on air to fully justify it, nor legally can I describe it. But nonetheless, this is the second game in a row, or second time this postseason.
The celebration is onions.
We'll call it that. This is the second time this postseason that the Indiana Pacers have been down by 7 with less than a minute left and have come back and won a game with 45 seconds or less left in the game. It's only happened 3 times in the last, 1,600 playoff games?
Yep.
Twice has been the Pacers this last, week.
Halliburton is really good at getting the last word. He must be exhausting to argue with because he's like always mic dropping and winning arguments.
We always know those people.
Earlier in the game, the crowd, because there was the NBA PA? There was some anonymous player poll where he was voted like overwhelmingly the most overrated player in the league. Tyrese Halliburton was, partially because he's been like an all-NBA guy and he had a slow start to this season, so maybe that's just timing of it. But he was voted most overrated. They were chanting overrated at Halliburton during the game yesterday. And do you know how I know he's not overrated? Because Donovan Mitchell, who's on the Cavs and he's one of the Cavs' best players, immediately was going around like, no, everybody, shh, shh, shh.
Don't wake him up.
Almost like, what are you doing? You're making my job more difficult. Stop that. And Halliburton obviously heard it. And then he went ahead and intentionally missed a free throw to get his own rebound, to dribble back and hit a step-back jumper to win the game, and then celebrate the way that we described. That's the ultimate, like, overrate this. Like, that is the ultimate, you're going to chant bad things at me. Watch what I do with you. And it just seems like he gets those moments a lot when people doubt him. So, Tyrese Halliburton. Earning fans. I like guys that don't get mad when trash talk happens. They win. And then mic drop. I like that. Let's quit that. Let's hit this. George Pickens traded to Dallas.
Yeah. That was wild.
Third rounder and then a late pick swap. So, Panthers fans will appreciate this. So the Cowboys have now given up a fourth for Jonathan Mingo and a third for George Pickens. And they're arguably wide receiver 2 and 3 behind CeeDee Lamb on their that's what they're dealing with. And Panthers fans that are going, why would we think that's funny? Mingo used to be a Panther. I know you probably didn't see him out there on the field that often, but Mingo was a second-round pick of the Panthers.
Very forgettable.
Panthers fans, you'll appreciate this. Never has the Steelers moved on from a maybe difficult wide receiver by reputation and had it gone very, very poorly for the team that traded for him, right? Oh, wait, Deontay Johnson was just traded to the Panthers
that's right.
with a reputation of being difficult to handle from the Steelers, and let's just say it didn't go well for the Panthers. Antonio Brown from the Steelers to the Raiders. I don't even think he played in a game for the Raiders. Remember, he burnt his feet. Then he was mad that his helmet wasn't going to be allowed. Then he landed at training camp in a helicopter of some kind. Then when they released him, he released a video of him jumping in a pool. That went well for the team that took the hard-to-handle receiver from the Steelers, right?
They did win a Super Bowl eventually.
That was after he messed it over with the Patriots.
Yeah.
And then he went down. So, yes, the team that gets George Pickens 3 teams from now has a chance.
Bite.
And Deontay Johnson, mess it over with the Panthers. He goes to the Ravens, messes it. Maybe the Browns, who just signed him to a no-money deal. Maybe they're the ones that are gonna get the benefit of Deontay Johnson. Pickens is going to have an opportunity to catch a whole lot of passes. There's not a ton to work with outside of CeeDee Lamb in that offense, and Dak Prescott doesn't mind slinging it. It's now or never. And he's in a contract year. Last year of his rookie contract. If George Pickens is going to make it, this is going to be the year to do it. Skill set still tantalizing.
Yeah. He's, again, going into the 4th year in the NFL. Him opposite of CeeDee Lamb, that is dangerous.
Lot of ability.
That is dangerous. That's fantasy points for a lot of people.
I hope so. As a person that's had CeeDee Lamb on my team for a very long time. Let's go ahead and quit that and hit this.
What? So it appears to be official. The ACC, in terms of men's basketball, will be going down from 20 games to 18 games this upcoming season, Tim, which means one important thing for teams here in the Triangle. We only might get one game between NC State and UNC.
Wait a second. It's been updated.
Oh, it's been updated. Oh, go on.
So the ACC from their official ACC men's basketball Twitter.
Okay, go on.
They have limited it from 20 games to 18 games.
All right.
There is one primary partner who will be set, and you will play that team home and away
every year.
Okay.
That's every single year. There will also be a secondary opponent.
Okay.
That you will play both home and away. That will be decided annually.
Okay.
So it can change year to year, but there will be 2 teams that you play both home and away. And what that means is there are then 14 single opponents out of the remaining 15 teams. So you will not play every team every year. There will be one team each year in the ACC that you do not play. So everybody will not play everybody every year. I would assume with pretty darn near certainty that for like State and UNC, they will not be primary partners because Duke and UNC will be primary partners. Money makes the world go round.
Yeah.
They will be secondary opponents nearly, if not exactly 100% of the time.
They should be.
There would have to be like State and Wake Forest going to 8 overtimes in both games in a year. And then the next year they might, or in one, and then again in the ACC tournament or something like that, in order for them to go, all right, maybe you guys can have it this next year. But I would guess common sense will prevail, and State and UNC will play each other home and away every year. They just have to formally decide each year that those are the 2 that will get it.
My guess is State and Wake Forest will be the guaranteed every year. So that way, again, and then maybe, hopefully, the ACC will say the secondary team that Duke plays every year is Wake. So that way, Wake, Duke, State, Carolina all play each other twice in a year. I'm okay with that.
I wonder if Duke has to rotate. Because I would imagine other teams in the conference would be... I mean, if you look at some of the numbers, and UNC is this way as well, don't get me wrong, but not as. If you look at like TV numbers and stuff, especially now that the ACC is paying out their media deals disproportionately based on television ratings amongst, other teams are going to want to play Duke twice because that inherently boosts their numbers. So I don't know if they'll be as cool as going like, all right, Duke and Wake every year. They might. I think they'll understand UNC and State because that's a different beast. I don't know if they'll concede Duke to Wake Forest every year in that secondary opponent. But this is all guessing, right? The secondary opponent will be determined annually. I just have a hard time believing that NC State and UNC will not find a way to be that secondary opponent every year.
So I'm assuming Florida State Miami will be an annual matchup every year.
That'll be the protected primary.
Yeah, same with Stanford Cal. SMU, like who would that be? A protected
Louisville or Georgia Tech?
I was thinking Clemson, Georgia Tech because of proximity.
Probably there than I guess Louisville, SMU.
Yeah, or Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
I think Louisville versus Pitt might be a better one.
Yeah, they
Boston
have
College
some history.
Or
Boston College, Syracuse, or Pitt, Syracuse.
Pitt, Syracuse. Virginia Tech, obviously.
That's obvious. As primaries.
And
then the other thing is, and I just want to point this out, we see this in football sometimes. If you're not playing somebody twice that you want to, you can schedule them in non-conference games.
You can.
It won't count towards ACC seedings, but it can give you a non-conference Power 5 game. You can continue to have whatever rivalries you want to keep up. So if there is a year where the ACC says, all right, like UNC and Louisville played an absolute classic in the regular season last year. They matched up in the ACC tournament and then again in the NCAA tournament. So for this year, your secondary is UNC and Louisville. State and UNC can look at each other and go, November 7th? Like they can do it in the non-conference game if they see fit.
We've seen UNC and Wake play each other in football in non-conference.
Yeah, we've seen it in football a couple different ways in the ACC. Which I'm fine with. Like I think that's good scheduling and it's giving your fans what they want. That's it and quit it. Let's go ahead and quit that. Let's quit that right now because I want to talk about Maynard Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company, your go-to company for heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. But right now it is a time where I think we should put added emphasis on cooling maintenance because, I mean, it's May 7th. You see on social media, every once in a while, people give you like the North Carolina calendar, and it's like winter, fake spring, back to double winter. Then it's hottest summer. Then it's the fake winter. Like it just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We're getting to the end of that little back and forth. It's about to be hot a lot.
right? And you need to be prepared for it. You're probably going to be running the AC. You're probably going to be maybe working it a little bit harder than you're used to, and you want to make sure that it's in fighting shape for the battles you're going to ask it to fight. So if you have a cooling system in your house, you just want to get it checked up. You want it maintained, right? Maintained. You want to make sure that it's ready when its number is called. Here's the number you need to call. Maynard Service Company, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. You can also check them out online, MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Just because I'm highlighting their maintenance doesn't mean they're not also there at your disposal for 24/7 service all across the triangle when you need them for the emergencies. I'm just saying try to get ahead of an emergency with some cooling maintenance. Again, the number, 919-361-0993. The Canes beat the Caps in Game 1. We know that. Inarguable fact. But what from Game 1 will carry over to Game 2? That's the question we're answering next. Stick around.
Need CPAP supplies fast? I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers, and we are the Triangle's top sleep provider, offering quick access to the equipment you need for better sleep. Get the right supplies right when you need them. With over 20 years of experience, our expert team is here to help you sleep better, sooner.
Discover why so many trust Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. Visit parkwaysleep.com now and start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Welcome home from Baker Home Exteriors. Your home is not just where you live, it's where life happens. We're proud to continue Baker Roofing's century-long legacy of excellence, bringing that same dedication to your home. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, or more, we transform houses into the homes you've always dreamed of. Your home deserves nothing less. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and let's build something beautiful together. That's BakerHomeExteriors.com.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
Orloff turns. He's got some room to work with. Plays it along the boards. He'll get it to Hall. Hall has it knocked away. Bouncing puck. Canes come up with it with a chance. They score! Logan Stankoven buries it, and the Canes have tied this at 1.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Logan Stankoven. I mean, it's such a great nickname. Stanky, It's perfect, right? When you have a nickname Stankoven, you're like, you're just going to be Stanky. Your buddies are going to call it starting in like 7th grade. You're just Stanky because it fits so perfectly. It's fun to say. It's your name. It's a whole bunch of things. But if he didn't already have a great nickname, he now has a great nickname, Mr. Game 1, which, if he wanted to go full like a hip hop artist and change his name every couple years, it could be Mr. Game 1, the tone setter, the ignition switch. Like there's a whole bunch that could. He starts the series, is what I'm getting at.
Just call him 1.
You call him. Oh, that's fantastic.
1? Who are you? 1.
Neo. You could go even further.
There you go.
Game 1s are an opening statement, not just for a player like Logan Stankoven, who scored 2 goals in Game 1 against the Devils and then scored the game-tying goal that took the lid off the net for the Canes in Game 1 against Washington. But for the team, they're an opening statement. They're a first impression. They're what everyone adjusts to off of that for the rest of the series, right? The chess game starts with what's happening right now. Right, with the adjustments being made by Carberry and by Rod Brindamore, like they're all built off of what you saw in Game 1. It's the equivalent of, it's not chess because everybody knows how a chessboard starts. It's like Battleship. Game 1 is deciding where you want to put them on your side, and then the opposing team has to try to come up with their strategy to fight back. So what was the opening statement? Beyond like, hey, Logan Stankoven's really good in Game 1s. What was the opening statement? I think the Canes made a really good statement that they aren't going to get into the mess with the Caps. That the Caps can try all their little schoolyard bully tactics, and the Canes were going to stay above it and try to beat you on the scoreboard. I guess the best example of this, the best kind of, if you want to boil down everything I just said into like 2 seconds, Tom Wilson grabbing Sebastian Aho's mouthpiece out of his mouth is such like a, okay, 3rd grade bully tactic. And Aho treated it that way. He didn't get furious like, oh, give me it back. He just was like, what are we doing here? That's your move? We're dominating time of possession. You're fighting back with mouthpiece stealing. That's what we're doing here?
Like my 3-day-old daughter, I would be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's stealing a binky? Is that what's going on here? If my 4-year-old took a pacifier out of my 3-month-old's mouth, I would give my 4-year-old like don't be a little kid. What are we doing? You're being a little kid right now? You're more mature than that. And that's to my 4-year-old son, not to Tom Wilson. Although, at times, same kind of hissy fits. But even the little things, right? Game's tied 1-1, right? Canes fought really, really hard to tie that game up, and a puck goes over the glass or was up in the netting, whatever it was, and just smack Jackson Blake, I think it was, into the boards for absolutely no reason.
Just cross-check him.
And Jarvis, defends his guy, jumps on the guy's back, but then they want to emphasize it even more, right? They grab Jarvis and throw everybody to the ground. And the Canes were just like, what are we doing here? It's a tie game in the playoffs. You really think we're going to do something that crosses the line and puts one of us in the box after we worked that hard to tie this thing up 1-1? It took us no less than 80 shots to get tied up at 1-1. Now, I'm kind of exaggerating, but not really. You think we're gonna give that away? They aren't going to get caught up in the mess. Rod Brindamore, right here after the game, said Carolina stuck with what they do.
Well, I thought our guys played hard every shift, right from the start of the game, and I liked how we were playing. Obviously, we were down, but there's a certain game plan. Both teams have it. I thought we were on it tonight. Sometimes you don't get rewarded, but tonight we did.
Stuck with what they do. I do think, by the way, they controlled tempo. They played their game. I think that much was obvious. I mean, when you possess the puck that much, it's impossible not to control the tempo. But also, I think they made enough statements about not being intimidated by the Canes or by the Caps' physicality. Right? That they were not a team that looked like they were cowering to the bigger and stronger Caps.
As Robert points out, Carolina had way more hits.
Yeah, it was, and sometimes that's how you beat a bully, right? You beat him to the punch.
Yeah. It wasn't extracurricular stuff. It's like, no, puck's in your zone. We're going to hit you. We're going to just take the puck back and fling it to the net.
And That's Canes hockey, right? They didn't let the Caps' physicality get them off of their game. Spencer Carberry, obviously the coach of the Caps, was asked if he was surprised by Carolina's physicality.
You're chasing a lot, right? So that's even surprising because they had the puck so much. So usually when you don't have the puck, usually you're initiating contact to try to get it back. So, but like I said, the establishing a forecheck is usually where you get most of your contact, and that was essentially non-existent.
Yeah. By the way, are you surprised by Carolina's physicality? Get out of here with the question. No, this is second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Anybody who's like wasn't expecting a physical game is not paying attention.
I think it was more asked specifically about just being out hit, because generally when you possess the puck like Carolina does, you don't register hits at the higher volume of the other team because, like he said, you don't register hits when you're in possession of the puck. So that's the thing. It's like, wait a second, we got out hit and we got out possessed. How does that happen?
And I think. Well, first of all, shout out to the Canes, particularly the top three lines. I know that Rod doesn't number them, but we know what we're talking about here. Because Jankowski ended up going out with an injury. Do we have an update on Jankowski, by the way?
Nothing that I've seen. I'll see if I can find.
I believe I saw something that said maybe game time decision for game 2, but don't quote me on that. Jankowski got hurt, 5 or 6 minutes left to go in the second period. And instead of shuffling lines, because obviously the chemistry was good, they were possessing well and didn't want to mess around with stuff, they basically went to a 3-line rotation. So it's even more impressive that you would think your fatigue would be adding up more quickly than theirs, and you're still able to out-hit and out-physical a team that's known for that sort of thing. So all of it, the statement being made is, sure, your reputation, your the weights on the roster might say you're bigger, should be leaning on us a bit more. We're not going to operate as if that's just assumed, right? You're gonna, if you want to be more physical than us, you're going to be more physical than us. We're not just going to lay down and let you. And then also, as far as carrying over, you got to guard Jacob Slavin. He's not just a defensive guy, right? He now has 2 highlight goals, one in each of the last series. This series is just getting started. I kind of like if you want, he took 5 shots or got 5 shots on goal.
Yeah.
So even outside of the overtime game winner, this is a continuation of our first goal scorer prediction observation from yesterday. Which, by the way, tomorrow at 4:33, we will have first goal scorer predictions right here on 99.9 The Fan. So start thinking about who you think will open the scoring and in what period for the Canes tomorrow. But one thing we noticed, right? We're always trying to get like the pulse of the listeners and the pulse of Canes fans. One thing we noticed was there really was no theme. Sometimes you go into a game and everybody has the same feeling, like Aho's been buzzing, he'll score first, or Jackson Blake is due, or something, and there's just 40% of first goal scorer predictions are one guy. Yesterday, it truly was darn near everybody, to the point where it would be easier for us to list the people who didn't have a first goal scorer prediction come in for them than it would to list the ones that did. And then you see a goal from Stankoven, a goal from Slavin, a bunch of shots from a bunch of different players. What was it, 6 or hold on, I have the stat. I don't know why I'm going to guess. 6 Hurricanes had at least 3 shots on net. Like, you have to defend everybody. There's no non-shooter, right? Where it's just, all right, leave them alone. I'm going to go double team, or I'm going to go pay an extra attention. I'm going to go help on this person. And that limits the adjustments that the Caps can make moving forward. One last shot here. Actually, maybe not one last shot. PK Subban, what do you want the Canes to adjust to? Did they shoot too much or not enough? Because every time we talked to you, there was a different deal going on there.
He's just trying to double down.
Not shooting enough. They need to get better shots. Oh, they're shooting too much. Tell us the number. How many shots is right? Because they'll go do it. They're controlling the action. 12 shots. That's what you want? 12 shots on goal. All right, they'll go 12. Not 13. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting 5 coming up. I mean, talking about media personalities that were mean to the Carolina – mean is the wrong word. That were negative about the Carolina Hurricanes. Mm-hmm. An absolute hilarious eating crow moment took place yesterday for one of those media members. That'll lead off our starting 5. But before we get to that, Dennis Cox has some info he'd like to pass along to you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. This is one of my favorite times of year. Not only is it postseason sports-wise for some of our favorite teams, but also for me, the weather's great. It's riding season. I love getting back on the motorcycle. Again, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers, and I always have to make sure before I get on the bike that I do a lot of things to make sure I'm safe before I even crank up the bike, before the bike even gets started up. I got to make sure my tire pressure is good. I got to make sure my bike is in proper working order. Have I gotten all the maintenance and everything on it? Especially if your bike's been sitting in storage over the winter, you're just now bringing it out, make sure everything is in proper working order. But also, make sure you are protected before you go on the road with how your insurance is set up. Make sure that your insurance is up to date. Make sure you're maxed out on your insurance when it comes to your motorcycle, because if you are injured in a motorcycle accident and the person that causes the accident is underinsured or uninsured themselves, well, guess what? Your policy then has to take over. So make sure you have that maximum coverage that you need for your motorcycle and for yourself in case the person that hits you is uninsured. But if you are in a motorcycle accident, make sure you call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact your insurance company. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms. They're members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. They're riders, too. They know what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with them is always free, and they don't get paid until your case settles. So, again, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, I give you the details on that ultimate eating crow moment for one media personality on his Canes take. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
All right, now that we got that warm and fuzzy welcome back series over with New Jersey, it's now time to dig deep, folks, and find your best, bless your heart, for the Washington Capitals. This is going to be a rough series. Get ready. A roller coaster ride is coming, and remember, you don't have to cheer Ovi. He's already got the record.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Struggling to get the sleep treatment you need? I'm Megan Giggling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
The Carolina RV Super Show is coming to you. Join us at any Camping World in North Carolina or South Carolina, May 15th through the 18th, to shop ridiculous discounts on the best selection of new and used RVs in the Carolinas. Tour new 2025 RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Enter to win a new RV and enjoy family fun and on-site activities. Don't miss the Carolina RV Super Show at your local Camping World, May 15th through the 18th. Get all the details at campingworld.com/Carolina RV Super Show.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike May. Some light rain and sprinkles to our south. Here in the Triangle, a small chance for some sprinkles this evening. 62 the low. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, the high 84. We actually have a level 1 risk for severe storms tomorrow night as the system moves in.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell up 285 points to 41,113. Market update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Wednesday. We are between hockey nights in Carolina. There was a game last night. There'll be a game tomorrow, all in Washington. But on this middle day, we still have a starting five. Let's go ahead and start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The Greensboro Gargoyles.
Yes.
As of yesterday, officially announced as the ECHL affiliate of the Carolina Hurricanes. So there's now a professional partnership, relationship, kind of management agreement between the Carolina Hurricanes and the minor league hockey club, the Greensboro Gargoyles. That in and of itself is just good, right? When your developmental clubs are closer to your big league club, it just makes it easier. You can be more hands-on with the development of your prospects. You can see them more often, all those sorts of things. The AHL affiliate for the Canes will still be in Chicago. That's Chicago Wolves. The hilariousness of it is who is a minority owner of the Greensboro Gargoyles. That would be Paul Bissonnette.
Yeah, the Spit and Chiclet guys.
Spit and Chiclet and Ryan Whitney as well.
Yeah.
Bissonnette you also see on TNT quite a bit during hockey coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the more vocal criticizers of the Canes when it came to everything Mikko Rantanen. And was amongst those throwing the, I guess no one wants to play for Carolina out there, and citing Gensel and Rantanen. And let's just say Canes fans weren't exactly appreciative of the verbiage he used speaking about the Carolina Hurricanes, which means now there's a decent chance some of the drafted players that came in the deal that he criticized are going to have to go play for his team. And then he is going to have to ask the Canes, are we doing a good job developing these guys to make the trade work that I was a vocal critic of in the media? It's just kind of a funny small hockey world thing. And to Bissonnette's credit, Biz Nasty as some know him, he was funny about it on social media yesterday. Basically, I always loved the Mikko Rantanen deal from the very beginning. When the Canes won, he immediately was posting 1-0 as part of the organization. So he leaned into kind of the, when it gets awkward, somebody's got to cut the first joke.
Yeah.
And he did, so credit to him. But it is an all-time funny move, right? That feels like a very petty business thing. Like if you were critical of a CEO, then he buys your company and is like, guess who works for you now? Guess who you work for now? That it worked out in a very funny way.
I wish that the Charlotte Checkers were still the AHL affiliate of the Carolina Hurricanes,
just to get everything in a closer radius.
Well, not just that, but the Canes organization would have coverage literally across the entire state, which is what you want to have. So I always felt that when the Canes were had the Charlotte Checkers as part of the organization in terms of the AHL affiliate, you noticed a lot more people invested from the Charlotte area because they would go watch the Checkers play, and then the guys get called up and go play with the Canes. For example, Justin Falk, Martin Natchez, guys that were regulars for the Canes for many years, played in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And then now those Charlotte fans get to go see the guys go play for the big club. And now you've expanded your fan base as a franchise. I think that stuff is underlying vital.
Best part about minor league sports is saying I saw them win, right? Saying, that guy on my favorite team, I saw him when he was a 19-year-old prospect and hadn't quite put it together, but we were watching it. Similarly, like Durham Bulls, we were there for opening day, and we had Mike Burling on the show, the VP over there for the Bulls, and he tipped us off on this guy Simpson. And he goes, hey, pay attention to Simpson. He's not going to be here long. He's going to turn heads. He's an 80 out of 80 in speed. If you've been paying attention to Major League Baseball, he has taken the big leagues by storm with his speed. Saw people saying that he should be on the USA's World Baseball Classic roster because he's essentially a cheat code as a pinch runner. You put him on, he's going to work his way around the bases. How cool would it be if instead of him doing that for the Tampa Bay Rays all the way down in Florida, which is a long drive, it was somewhere nearby, right? Like, that's what you're looking for from the minor league clubs. You build a fan as the minors, and then they follow you to the big leagues. It's harder to do when you've got to crisscross the country to see him play. Greensboro Gargoyles, ECHL affiliate of the Canes. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Carlisle's going to let him play. Halliburton steps back and hits. Tyrese Halliburton trying to take Cleveland's heart.
Do you know what last night was? It was we're talking NBA playoffs here. 2 different places, 2 different games. There's a cold rush of mortality hitting NBA fans right now, right? Because we talked about after the first round and the series were set for the second round of the NBA playoffs. You start looking around and you're like, there's no LeBron, there's no KD, there's no Chris Paul, there's no Kawhi, there's no Paul George, there's no Anthony Davis, there's no like all of this kind of generation is suddenly they're not playing in the second round, but at least there was Steph. Right, Steph Curry, the old guard, representing. Steph Curry tweaked a hamstring in the first round or the first game of the second round, which, let's be real, that's an aging athlete thing, right? I didn't realize that my body couldn't do what I thought I could do because I used to be 20-something. And then just a couple hours before that, Tyrese Halliburton, one of that new age analytic based young new everything NBA, pulls off one of the most impressive plays I've seen in a like non-elimination game, where he intentionally misses a free throw to get his own rebound, pulls that off, which in and of itself is impressive, then retreats a little bit, drives, step back, 3 to win the game with less than 5 minutes left. And I'm going like, there's something happening here, right? Steph tweaks a hammy. This young guy pulls off something I've never really seen at that level. I've seen it in middle school. Never really seen the missed free throw to get your own rebound to step back game winner. It's with every passing day, it seems like there's more of a passing of the torch happening in the NBA. And I do think we'll get, maybe next year, maybe the year after, a few more I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was runs by some of these veterans. But I think it is like there's a new sheriff in town. You know what I mean? Or new sheriffs. What's the plural of sheriffs? Sheriffs? What's the new sheriffs in town? There's that moment that is talked about often with the Dream Team where there's a legendary picture with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. And I forget the setup, but basically Magic Johnson, Larry Bird are waiting for Michael to come into the room. And when he does, Magic just kind of goes like, there's a new sheriff in town. And they're both conceding that, our time as the main characters in the NBA is gone. And it's Michael's turn. I think it's happening. I don't know which one player of the new generation is taking over, but it seems like the new generation is maybe not waiting their turn. They're kind of taking their turn. And it helps when the older guys are hurt a bunch.
Like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Who has a grade 1 hamstring strain. Looks like he's going to miss a week.
I'd say at least. But that's just me talking, not the officials. And it's a good reminder in all of sports to enjoy the greatness while it's happening. Right? When your favorite players are playing, don't take them for granted because, time waits for no one. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3.
Let's do that hockey.
Obviously, Stanley Cup playoffs are going on, but there was some other news in the NHL. The Utah Hockey Club is no longer the Utah Hockey Club. It's the Utah Mammoth. They went through like 800 different name submissions, a bunch of different levels of fan voting, and they finally settled on the Utah Mammoth. Dennis, before I give my opinion, you like Mammoth?
I think it's kind of cool. Their logo's pretty awesome, too.
This is the first time in a while, I think, a name change or a new team, and I've gone like, that's a good logo. That's a good name.
Yeah. Hey, cool name, cool logo. Love the colors. It's like, okay, I dig it.
I was talking with Paul Ihander, host of Next Up every morning here on 99.9 The Fan, although he'll be out the rest of the week, this morning about it. Almost everything that you can like measure, humans get better at over time, right? Like if you look at the Olympics, we're getting faster every century. If you look at really all sports are getting bigger, taller, faster, stronger. Computers are getting more efficient. Like architecture's getting more stable. I don't know. Like evolution happens, right? We're getting better. I think there's a notable exception. I think for the most part, we are significantly worse at naming professional sports franchises and creating logos for professional sports franchises than we were like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. We've gotten worse. Look at any new league. Look at like the XFLs, the UFLs, even like a WNBA that's been around like 25 years. There's overwhelmingly like bad names and bad logos.
The PWHL?
Yeah. There's just a lot of like, really? That's the best you could come up with? Meanwhile, if you look at teams that have been around forever, it's like, that's a great logo. Like, what team doesn't love their throwback logos? Every team does, because they were just awesome. Now you look at the computer-generated nonsense we get today, and I'm like, really? That's the best we could do? My parents live in Orlando, and they're angling hard down there, I guess, for one of the MLB expansion teams. Guess what name they're trumpeting out there for, like, bring this team to Orlando?
The Mickeys?
The Dreamers.
The Mickey Mouses?
The Dreamers.
Oh, because like Disney?
I guess. Like because Walt Disney had a dream? I don't know. That's awful. The Guardians? Not great.
Maybe the Orlando, I don't know, Magic would work, right? Because the Magic Kingdom? Oh, wait, they already have that.
Magic isn't bad.
No, Magic
is
is actually kind of cool.
Their retro jerseys, awesome. Their new jerseys, worse.
Magic, cool. Wizards,
Wizards, not great. Bullets? I understand why you couldn't do it, but that's you want to talk about it. They're proud of that in D.C.
Originally Baltimore.
True. Very true. But, like, there's no, like, the Bears, no chance a modern team gets named the Bears. Right? There's nothing regional about it. Oh, it's generic. We got to do something more specific that we can own the merchandise and trademark. The Bears is great. Packers, never getting through. Packers is great. We're worse. But Mammoth, I'll give you credit. That's pretty good.
I see. So you like it?
I do.
Yeah.
It's the best I've heard in a while as far as a new team from scratch creating a brand.
And I like some of the details in the logo, like with the mammoth head. You can tell like kind of like the back of the head is actually like the mountain ridges that you kind of would see in Utah. So like little details, subtle stuff that's in there. I think, pay attention to those kinds of things.
Utah Jazz? That makes no sense.
Well, because originally they're the New Orleans
I know.
Jazz.
It would make sense in New Orleans. What do we have in New Orleans?
Pelicans.
Awful. Pelicans is bad.
I know.
New Orleans Jazz was great.
I'm trying to think, like, what's the worst?
I used to think Minnesota Wild wasn't good.
I think Wild is kind of neat.
Wild? Nah. What is it?
I don't know. I do miss the old North Stars. Now it's the Dallas Stars.
North Stars was
Which
good.
makes sense. The Lone Star State. Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
No, Dallas Stars is fine.
The colors suck.
Middle of the road NHL. I don't know, like the there was I was just Googling this today, so there were ones that I really didn't like, but I don't. We can maybe we'll do that for numbers game. What's the worst team name and logo in sports?
Oh,
if you call in, be ready. That was what was that? Number 3. Let's head to number 2.
Just the two of us. And another number 1 seed advances. The Duke Blue Devils
John Shire is headed to his first Final Four as a head coach.
So that was a obvious call from this past year's NCAA tournament. Duke made the Final Four, which maybe put lipstick on the pig a little bit for the ACC basketball season. 4 teams made the men's basketball NCAA tournament. At times it felt like maybe only 2 or 3 would get in. Some would say only 3 deserve to get in, but hey, argument for another day. In response to that, the ACC powers that be have approved shortening the conference schedule. Last year, ACC men's basketball teams had to play 20 conference games. This upcoming year, they will only have to play 18. The big worry when that became rumored was you were going to lose home and homes with darn near everybody, right? So if you had multiple rivals, you would only play at home and on the road against one of them if you cut it from 20 to 18 games. The ACC, I think, did a good job here. The details have emerged. The way the 18 conference games will be set up, there will be what's called a primary partner. Your team will have a primary partner, and you will play that team home and away in conference every year. No arguments, every year. Then there will be what they call a secondary opponent that you will play home and away, and that will be determined annually. Then there will be 14 single-game opponents, 14 teams, obviously 7 home, 7 on the road, in conference that you will play. If you do the math there, you're not playing everyone. You're not playing everybody. There will be 1 team each year that you do not play, and that will rotate. So logic would say once every 14 years, you will not play one specific team, and then you'll rotate through and you'll play them the next 13 years, if it goes on that long. This is I think, as good as you could get.
It's a good compromise because, again, you don't want to see State and Carolina not play twice a year.
So I assume Carolina and Duke will be their primary partner.
Makes sense.
Just to give you an example. That means secondary opponent, which will be determined annually, can be UNC and NC State. And I would be very surprised if almost, if not every year, their secondary opponents are NC State and UNC. So you almost have 2 protected rivalries. And the years where they don't play each other home and away, I will complain. I want that to be on Front Street. If there's a year where UNC and NC State play once in conference, I will be complaining. So just buckle up for that. This microphone will hear complaints. And I don't care if you if to use that example, State once every 14 years doesn't play SMU, once every 14 years doesn't play Miami, I'm fine with it. Somehow we will live. That was number 2. Let's jump to number 1, please.
Go 1!
The Canes.
Martin Nook, it'll come out. Right point. Slavin with a chance. They score! They score! In overtime! Jacob Slavin lets it go from the point, and Carolina has taken game number 1 here in Washington.
That's what it sounded like. I was so excited. I just want to talk about it.
I love hearing the few Canes fans there in the background and the rest of the audience just go, you know what?
It is like if you were at the game and you listen in closely, you might hear yourself. Like if you're somebody that yells like "Let's go" when things go well, you're like, "Did I hear a "Let's go"? Was that me?" Which is always fun. Canes beat the Caps. It was in overtime. It was 2-1. It was a game that the Canes outshot the Caps by a whole bunch, but it was close at the end nonetheless. For more of those details, our very own Adam Gold with 2 minutes of gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 players and 2 moments of brilliance in a 2-1 overtime win for the Hurricanes as they take a 1-0 lead over the Capitals, on the road no less, in their round 2. A lot of 2s here. Eastern Conference semifinal series. All right, and it's all brought to you by Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. So, Alexi Protas scores early in the second period. Carolina's trailing a game 1-0 that they have dominated in terms of puck possession. Not great scoring chances, but they've got the puck. And when you have the puck, theoretically, the other team can't score. So that is by design. Don't get the criticism of Carolina throughout the game because they haven't scored. We've seen this before. We watch Hurricanes hockey. But the more you have it, and the more you generate, and the more pressure you put on the other team, the greater your chances are of eventually breaking through. In middle of the third period, the Kotkaniemi line on the ice forces Washington into a bad turnover. Jesperi, the Logan Stankoven, and we're even.
Bouncing puck. Canes come up with it with a chance. They score! Logan Stankoven buries it, and the Canes have tied this at 1.
There you go. Moment of brilliance 1. Moment of brilliance 2 happens in the overtime early because as the Hurricanes are designed to play, shots from deep with a bunch of bodies in front, and you never know.
Right point. Slavin with a chance. They score! They score! In overtime! Jacob Slavin lets it go from the point, and Carolina has taken game number 1 here in Washington.
That was Jacob Slavin's first ever playoff overtime game winner. I have no idea how it got all the way through and past Logan Thompson because there didn't seem to be any room to get the puck through all those bodies, but it happened. And again, by design. This is the way the Hurricanes play. Here's the thing, I keep hearing about how Washington is going to play better in Game 2. I trust they will. But I think Carolina's got another level to get to as well in Game 2. Because there are 3 levels to the way the Hurricanes play. There's defense, there's puck possession, and then there's generating scoring chances from that possession. And I don't think Carolina was great at that. They'll get better. They hit 5 flipping posts. My gosh, there's more goals in that game. Canes 2-1, overtime, 1-0 lead in the series. ParkwaySleep.com. Start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Center. Sound sleep, sound health. Sound the alarms for a Slavin game winner.
Once again, that's Adam Gold with 2 minutes of gold. And I want to second a piece of logic that Adam brought up during 2 minutes of gold. I acknowledge that the Caps did not play their best hockey. Right, I'm not sitting here saying the Canes beat them and they had their A+ game. And I agree that those out there are thinking like, well, Game 2 won't be the same because the Caps are gonna do blah, blah, blah. And I'm all with it. As long as we acknowledge that the Canes can also play better, right? If like let's say that was a 70% game for the Caps. They might play 10% better. I think the Canes can play 10. I think they can play 15%. I think they can play 20% better. Like, don't acknowledge that one side has like this great ceiling of improvement without saying I think the other team does as well. And it comes down to who eats into that ceiling the most, right? Who is most ready to play. If you're going to predict one team is going to get way better, don't predict the other team won't, unless you have a reason to. Unless you think there's something going on that. You know, they'll throw a wrench in the system, but it's you see this with like trades and stuff sometimes, right? It's like, well, we're giving you picks and those are going to be great players later. It's like, yeah, well, we're giving you somebody that's 24 and they're going to be better at 28 than 24. Like, yeah, both are going to improve in value, so let's act like both are going to improve in value if we do our job, right? Once we give you a player or once we give you picks, it's up to you to get the value out of it. And then we would, we're valuing it like we would get the value out of it. I don't know if that was the most easy to follow thing there. But what I'm saying is don't acknowledge that the Caps have some gigantic other level they can get to without saying, you know what, I think the Canes can get to another level as well. Thank you to Adam for articulating that better in 2 minutes of gold than I just did. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need to grab some numbers game contestants. That I know I can do. But before we do that, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, are your finances keeping you up at night, thinking about your bills? Maybe you're worried about these finances in these crazy times. If you're like most people, you've racked up a sizable amount on your credit cards, and the monthly payment simply is not making a dent in it. It's time to give Loan Pronto a call. If you own a home, you have a super easy way to get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash. Loan Pronto has lots of options for helping you tap into the equity in your home and get the cash you need to get back on solid footing. Most homeowners who do this end up wiping out all their credit card debt and cutting their monthly expenses by $1,000. Look, you didn't mean to end up here, but you don't have to keep stressing about money. Call Loan Pronto for fast debt relief now. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Again, the website, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Needs numbers game contestants. We have a $25 Hardee's gift card going to the winner of the numbers game. In order to win, you have to play. We need two of you to call in now. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a $25 Hardee's gift card if you can win the numbers game. Numbers game coming up next. Stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
I'm like legitimately emotional about
know.
this. To watch the handshake line at the end and to see Pesci and Slavin and Staal and Aho and Brindamore. I wanted to just have a camera on Brett Pesci. I thought it was interesting that there was a lot of love for Dougie Hamilton. Even Eric Haller. Aho and Haller were talking like they were old buddies.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here, only with Spectrum TV Select. Popular apps are included: Disney Plus, Max, Peacock Premium, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, and more. And live TV for sports, entertainment, and news. Enjoy across your devices no matter when or where you are. Get Spectrum TV Select and start streaming your favorites today. It's all here. Visit spectrum.com/entertainment. Restrictions apply.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Thursday, June 19th at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Football legends collide at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Inter Miami and FC Porto. Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba taking on Diogo Costa and Rodrigo Mora. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty, to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have a $25 Hardee's gift card that'll go to either Trey and Clayton or Dave and Fuquay Varina, but they'll have to earn it. They have to beat the competition and win the numbers game. Here's how it's going to start. I will ask a question, the same question to both contestants. They will have the opportunity to answer. Dennis, our judge and producer, will pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. Trey and Clayton, are you there?
I'm here, man.
Trey, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
All right, there you go. The question is, in honor of the Utah Mammoth announcing their name and logo and everything else, new NHL club in Utah renaming themselves, what is the worst professional sports like name, meaning like, Tigers, Packers, whatever, and logo combo, so brand kind of? What's the worst one out there? Could be an expansion if you just really think it's bad from back in the day, whatever it is. What's the worst?
It's a tough one. Currently, I'll probably just go with probably Tennessee Titans. I mean, I don't know anything about Titans being in Tennessee, so I'll go with that one.
All right. All right. Now, any follow-up questions? I kind of like the thought.
Yeah, no.
All right. Good. All right, stay on the line. We'll see if it's chosen. Dave and Fuquay Varina, same question to you. In honor of the new Utah Hockey Club turning themselves into the Utah Mammoth, new name, new logo, what's the worst name logo combo? Colors, scheme, all that kind of stuff in professional sports?
It has to be Utah Jazz. There ain't no Jazz in Salt Lake.
All right, two good answers. Dennis, you get to choose from the Tennessee Titans and the Utah Jazz, which I would not have put either of those at like the top of the power rankings, but they're not bad answers.
They're good though. That's kind of tough. Because they're both not good. Well, you really think about it, they're both like Tennessee Titans. I get you want to go with the alliteration of it, but I don't know. Could have stuck with it.
And the Houston Oilers was so good.
I know. I think that's the thing is that both these teams are relocated franchises. But I will give the Titans a little bit of credit that because they changed their name because, okay, Houston Oilers, there's no oil out here in Tennessee. So at least they changed their name. I'll give them credit on that. So I might have to go with the Utah Jazz. Just like Dave said, ain't no Jazz out there in Utah. They're just kept that name over. I mean, honestly, what about the L.A. Lakers? There used to be the Minnesota Lakers, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but that's a good one.
I know the Lakers.
I'm not messing with that. Yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, Utah Jazz.
At this point, Lakers to me has nothing to do with like land of a thousand lakes. It's a basketball team. Name the Lakers. All right. So who got to go first?
Dave. I'm gonna go with Utah Jazz. By the way, correct answer will be Charlotte FC. You had a chance to do something cool, but you didn't. You chose FC.
I don't hate that. I was in favor of Washington staying with the Washington football team.
Washington football team I would have been cool with, but like Charlotte FC, like every other soccer team out there.
Yeah, you're right. In soccer, it's less unique.
Like the Seattle Sounders, cool. Anyway,
we've done. We need to get to the numbers game.
Yes,
I could again have that conversation all day. Dave and Fuquay Varina, you get to go first. Are you ready to pick a category?
Yep.
All right. The categories are NFL players drafted in 2021, NFL players drafted in 2011. Or NBA players that at one time or another were Kevin Durant's teammates. And then the final category, as always, is NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's do first NFL one.
Okay. NFL players drafted in 2021. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Kyle Pitts, Atlanta Falcons.
18.
Incorrect. Nico Collins, Houston Texans.
18.
Incorrect. Kyle Pitts, Atlanta Falcons.
84.
Incorrect. Nico Collins, Houston Texans.
81.
Incorrect. Kyle Pitts, Atlanta Falcons.
Pass.
Chuba Hubbard, Carolina Panthers.
22.
Incorrect. Nico Collins, Houston Texans. Not great, Dave. Not great. That's a 0. The good news for you, if there is good news after a shutout, is that a tie goes to whoever goes first. So you're not out of the running yet. If we go double over, you'll be the winner. So stay on the line, and we'll see if Trey hands it back to you.
Thank you.
Trey, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players drafted in 2011, NBA players that were at one time or another Kevin Durant's teammates, or NHL players, Hurricanes only.
Probably do KD's teammates.
Okay, we'll do NBA players that were all Kevin Durant's teammates at one time or another. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. You need one to get the win. Any questions before we get started?
Nope, let's roll.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Devin Booker, Phoenix Suns.
1.
Correct. James Harden, Oklahoma City Thunder.
13.
Correct. Klay Thompson, Golden State Warriors.
11.
Correct. Chris Paul, Phoenix Suns.
3.
Correct. Seth Curry, Brooklyn Nets.
7 for 30.
There it is. Back-to-back days with a perfect score.
Yes, sir.
18 and a half seconds.
18 and if you didn't take just that little moment on Seth Curry, you would have been close to our leaderboard for fastest ever.
I had to double take on it. I was like, wait a second. What did he say? I heard the Curry, so.
Well, 30. Either way, you got it. You got it correct. No mistakes. Perfect score. Congratulations. We went from a shutout to a perfect score. It was a mercy rule. And you get the $25 Hardee's gift card. So congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the bragging rights of the perfect score. Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you.
Sweet. Thank you.
All right. There you go. Perfect. So that was, again, I'm starting to think that, like, because for me, it's more entertaining when the caller is, like, high energy and they're, 7, I'm starting to think there's a huge advantage just being chill because the perfect scores are more often than not just like 3, 11, 30. Just low energy, but
cool under pressure.
But yeah, there's something going on there.
Ice in his veins.
Ice in his veins. Ice in his veins. I almost and because we were talking about just bad logos, that's all I was thinking. Every time I was like, Devin Booker, Phoenix Suns, I was going like, are the Phoenix Suns good? Nah, Phoenix Suns are solid. That's a cool logo. Phoenix, it's hot, cool. But one of them that we had, and it's on the football side of things, I was like, that's not great. But now I can't. Oh, the Texans. Houston Texans. Again, it's too recent. We're not good at it. Just the Texans. I don't know how much it would have cost to buy the Oilers, the branding from the Titans. Spend the money. Houston Oilers, perfect. And those logos, awesome. The jerseys, the light blues, awesome. Powder blues, whatever you want to call them. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was a numbers game. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, for another Hardee's gift card giveaway on the numbers game, so be tuned in for that. In the meantime, Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, all taken care of by Mainer Service Company. But there are times of year where you focus on different ones, right? As we hit the hot summer months, you want to be thinking cooling maintenance. You want to be thinking about getting Mainer Service Company out to look at the vents, look at the AC, the HVAC, everything, just to make sure there's not something obvious, right? Just to make sure there's not something that can maybe spend a little bit of money now or a little bit of time, a little bit of effort now. That'll save you a lot of bit of money, a lot of bit of time, a lot of bit of effort later on, a lot of bit of inconvenience later on. Give them a call, right? And by the way, developing that relationship is good, right? When Mainer Service Company comes out to your house and they help you fix something or they help you install something or any of the heating, cooling, plumbing, electric needs that you have, they keep those records, right? So then when something goes wrong or when something else needs maintenance, They know what they're getting into. They can bring the proper things they need next time, right? Develop that relationship. Let them know your house like you know your house, so they'll know how to take care of your house. The number to call is very simple, 919-361-0993 for Manor Service Company, 919-361-0993, or visit them online, manorservices.com. That's MAYNOR services.com. Let them know you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan when you make that call. When we come back, the Panthers and a lot of NFL teams are at OTAs. That's right, the off-season activities have already begun. What should you take away from it? Next.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in the Triangle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Marcy Bailey here to remind you that Mother's Day is right around the corner. Show your love and appreciation for Mom with something sparkly wrapped up in a Bailey box. We've curated an amazing Mother's Day gift guide with beautiful jewelry for every style and budget. Shoppable at BaileyBox.com. We also have all the top designers like David Yurman, Lagos, and Hippolyta, along with our highly sought-after Bailey's collections. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the coast.
Struggling to get the sleep treatment you need? I'm Megan Giggling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster, and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed Sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
The Carolina RV Super Show is coming to you. Join us at any Camping World in North Carolina or South Carolina, May 15th through the 18th, to shop ridiculous discounts on the best selection of new and used RVs in the Carolinas. Tour new 2025 RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Enter to win a new RV and enjoy family fun and on-site activities. Don't miss the Carolina RV Super Show at your local Camping World, May 15th through the 18th. Get all the details at campingworld.com/Carolina RV Super Show.
The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Panthers OTAs. Oh, yeah. Players in cleats doing drills.
with no pads.
Yeah, but they're team-issued shorts and T-shirts.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, there's jersey numbers on those.
You darn right there are.
Clothing.
You darn right there are. Here's what you do with Panthers OTAs. With OTAs in general. Nothing. That's what you do with it. If you want to, like, the reason why, not the reason, one of the reasons why the NFL, see, it's playoff time. You know, that you can put real stock into. The NHL stuff going on. The NFL stuff, not as much. But this is why, one of the reasons why, the NFL is king in popularity. Their schedule works out perfectly with our attention span. Right? The moment you think you're in some desert without, you're looking around going, there's not a glass of water for 40 days and 40 nights. They give you just a dribble, just a couple drops, right? The draft happens. You're so excited, and then you look towards the future and you're like, yikes, training camp is a long way away. And then they just throw you a splash of OTAs. And all of a sudden, every team is posting clips of players doing something which kind of resembles football, but it's really not. It's like flag football, but even not that. And you go, oh, thank goodness. And you're so thirsty that you think it's actually good. And it's not. It's just a couple drops of lukewarm water. Don't fall for it. There's also social media teams of NFL teams out there. Do it better. Do it better. This is the time of year where you're going to see like 5-yard hitches in slow motion. It is literally just throw and catch. I showed Dennis a clip because it was passed around a couple of my social media or my group chats yesterday. The Colts put out a video from the team account, right? Which team accounts matter, right? You're trying to build up a fan base. They put out a clip of Anthony Richardson, right? The quarterback who is teetering on the edge of being a bust, right? The quarterback who they need everybody to rally around, the quarterback that they need to show they're developing. They have the quarterback making a throw to former UNC wide receiver Josh Downs. This is a 1-yard out route. That's what they put out there. And it's not even on target.
Not shocked.
Little high. Little high. Had to be a nice catch, nice hands catch from Josh Downs. We know Josh Downs can play. But this is not an exaggeration. I know sometimes I do the hyperbole for effect thing where a billion goals scored. No, this is not an exaggeration. If Dennis and I walked into the parking lot, we could make a video as impressive as the one they put out of Anthony Richardson and Josh Downs.
I'm dropping dimes to you, Tim.
Sure, I'll run the route.
Yeah.
I'll run in slow motion. You won't even tell I'm moving slow. You'll just think it's slow motion.
Exactly. It'd be real speed.
Yeah. That's the only difference, is theirs was put in slow motion and ours would be full steam and look slow motion. No, it's like the Panthers getting together. They're doing stuff that's important to them. They're getting to know each other. They're installing maybe routes and how they want it run. They're doing things that are important internally. It is not important to us. If an NFL player can't run a route and catch a ball, they're not NFL players. So, look at this. Bryce Young finding Xavier Leggett on a crossing route. Big season for XL. No. Bryce Young finding Xavier Leggett on a crossing route means they're both NFL players and they were asked to complete a crossing route. You can watch, like, there are few things where, maybe you don't get a massive amount of information, but you can take a small amount of information. Body transformations. If somebody shows up and they look like they've put on 20 pounds of muscle, okay. If you can visually see the difference, we can talk about it. If somebody tells you they're in the best shape of their life, that means nothing.
Best shape of their life season.
Means
let's go.
Nothing. Matter of fact, if somebody tells you they're in the best shape of their life and they're 33 or older, not saying you can't get in the best shape of your life after 33. I'm just saying, why did you go through the first 10 years of your career not in the best shape of your life? Call this, I name my theories, the Emmanuel Sanders frustration. Emmanuel Sanders, when he was on the Broncos, so he had played, 5 years with the Steelers.
Yeah.
He had been with the Broncos for probably 2 or 3 years by this point. He talked about how in the offseason he was in the best shape of his life because he finally stopped eating 20-piece McNuggets every time he drove by a fast food place. And everybody applauded him, like, oh, this is going to be a big season for Emmanuel Sanders. I'm going, you've been a professional athlete for almost a decade, and you just cut out the every time you pass by fast food? By the way, good for you, happy for you, but I'm not going to applaud that. Everybody else started eating healthy 5 years ago. If somebody tells you they're OTA is best shape of my life, go, all right, I want to see it, right? Is there something different? Or if you're a linebacker, are you carrying more weight while not losing speed? Show that stuff to me. We can talk about that. Option number 2 for tiny bits of information that we can legitimately glean from OTAs. Participation from hurt guys. If somebody had a major injury last year and they're already out running, cutting, doing those types of things, yes, that's information that is pertinent. Meanwhile, if somebody you didn't know was hurt is being held out with injuries, then I wouldn't even make a big deal out of that, but I'd put a note there and check back up when things get more serious. There's little things you can take, but goodness gracious, do not watch a 14-second clip of a drill being run by professional athletes and let that change your opinion of anyone in the clip based on their play. Ooh, so-and-so was looking quick. You mean when they're not worried about getting hit and they're not wearing pads and they haven't been playing an NFL game for a bunch of snaps and a bunch of weeks and they're not banged up, they can look fast? I would hope so. And if you don't know what I mean, here's what I want you to do. And this is no one's actually going to do this, but hopefully you'll get what the exercise is intending to prove. Go find somebody that went undrafted at the combine and watch their combine workout, but put your hand over the times. Okay, so obviously we can all go ooh, wow, that L drill was 0.4 of a second faster than the other guy. He must be fast. But cover up the times so the times don't tell you who ran fast. Then go find someone at the same position that was drafted in the second round and do the same thing. And I'll tell you right now, just video, they'll both look quick. The difference is minuscule, right? So if somebody puts out a clip from practice in no pads, undrafted guys would look really, really good. Undrafted guys would be like, look at this. Who would have guessed? Meanwhile, all pros would also look pretty much just as good. But my point is you can't differentiate. I actually would be worried if a team is only putting out really mediocre clips of a quarterback. If every day the big highlight is a 4-yard stop route, like a swing pass, and they're never once showing the deep ball. All right, what's going on here? Why? What are you hiding? But even that would probably be me just going full conspiracy theory rather than actually just going I don't know, maybe the social media team only goes out there for the first couple minutes of practice and they're still warming up. There's very logical answers for all of this. With that being said, Xavier Legette looked great. No, I'm kidding. With all that, I just don't take anything. Don't believe anything. That being said, Bryce Young, a little extra pop on his passes this year. I think it's going to be a good year for Bryce.
Oh, let's go.
I'm not actually saying that at all. What I should be saying is it's NHL Stanley Cup playoff season. What are you doing watching clips of the NFL right now? They don't play for months.
Exactly.
They don't play for months. Instead, go rewatch that overtime period of Kane's Caps and just watch with the giddiness knowing that Slavin was going to find the goal from distance and there was going to be a win in enemy territory. How about that? And anticipate tomorrow. Kane's Caps tomorrow, which you can hear right here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll get you ready for it as our show winds down here. We'll get you ready for Game 2 throughout the show tomorrow. And continuing, we'll get you ready for the Overdrive. Coming up next, we're talking Kane's Caps to start it right here on 99.9 The Fan, so don't go anywhere. Enjoy that. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the offseason, but it doesn't mean me and my co-host, WREL TV's Chris Lee, take a break from our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp approaches, insights on the rookies, the free agents, and the surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We have unlimited data that never slows you down, covered by the Verizon 5G network, and all for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. And the best part, we give you a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G when you switch to the 5G Unlimited or 5G Plus Unlimited plan. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
The place to be is at First Horizon Stadium in Cary. Come out and cheer on the North Carolina Courage, the Triangle's premier professional women's soccer team, as they take on the Orlando Pride on May 10th. Presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield North Carolina. Get tickets at nccourage.com.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See owner's manual for important operating instructions.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Sick weather here on 99.9 The Fan. Temperatures tonight, it's going to be dropping down into the 60s. Tomorrow, it's going to be pleasant, high in the mid-80s, but there is a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow. Weather update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org. 6 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell this afternoon up 285 points to 41,100. 113. Market update brought to you by Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Deep River wants you to come fight the clay invasion. Come shoot down clay targets at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Visit deepriversportingclays.com.
It's 6 o'clock. Time to shift into overdrive. All highlights, no filler. As we run it back from the drive with Tim Donnelly.
Canes go up 1-0 in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Caps on the road. Stormed the enemy territory, came back, or at least staying there, going into game 2 with at least one. At least. They play again tomorrow. Playoff hockey. I'm going to do something intentionally today. I'm going to say the Canes won game 1. I'm going to say the Canes took game 1. I'm going to say they found a way to get a victory in. I will not say, and I refuse to say, they stole game 1. That was not a stealing. That was despite what the final score says, in many ways it was a domination in game 1. Just because they won on the road does not mean they stole, right? This is not Washington wasn't looking and they ran in and grabbed something and slipped it into their pocket and then, walked out of the store. This was they walked into Washington, picked the win up, said, "Hey, I'm taking this," and walked out in plain view. There was no stealing.
This is mine. Bye.
Yeah, it was they allowed it to happen. They made it happen. Sometimes they stole home court or stole home ice is just the way it's talked about, and it's not always the case. Now, if Washington, I don't know, had 33 shots on net to the Canes 14 and the Canes won, then you could argue they stole it. But those aren't the numbers. That's the reverse. Canes finished with 33 shots on net compared with just 14 for Washington. That is a game the Canes deserve to win, and there's a million different ways we could explain it. The total shot attempts was even more drastic. 6 Hurricanes had at least 3 shots on net, including Jacob Slavin, who scored the game winner in overtime. So you could argue he was due, right? Sure, it was a long-distance shot and made it through a bunch of traffic, and if he took that shot a bunch of times, who knows how many times it would see his way all the way through, but it was the 5th attempt from him, right? Jacob Slavin was more aggressive offensively than he traditionally is, and he was rewarded with a shot that may have been low percentage or whatever going through. And by the way, they did what they should. Go back and look at the screenshot when that shot went through. Jarvis was in good position. Staal was on the backside already battling with a cane, keeping them out of the way. Like, there were players creating traffic, distorting vision lines, and that's why a puck would squeak through.
I mean, if you count the 6 guys in front of the net plus the 1 guy up by Slavin, there's 7 guys between Slavin and the net.
It wasn't a lucky deal. It was calculated.
It wasn't a fluke.
That's the word I'm looking for. That's not a fluke. And as I get more and more and more and more into hockey, I have to remember what it is like for a casual fan. So I got a text during the game last night when the Canes were down 1-0, right? And it's from somebody that is a much bigger, I played college football, I run football circles, somebody that's a much bigger football fan than hockey fan, but they're getting into the Canes, right? Obviously, they're catching the Caniac fever, whatever you want to call it. Here's the text. I wrote it down because I went, oh, this is good. One thing I don't love about hockey compared to football is hockey you can completely dominate, but just let one goal happen and be losing. Football, it's really hard to dominate and lose. That right there, first of all, is true. It's why, football can get away with 1-game playoffs, and in the NHL, you need a 7-game series, right? Because you can dominate a game and lose 2-1. But also, it makes it feel like sometimes the team that's dominating got away with something. The Canes ringed? They rang the post.
Rung it?
They rung up and down the post. They hit the post 5 times. Svetch did it twice by himself, and that's a guy that's been buzzing, right? That's a guy who he easily could have scored 2, and we would have looked around and said that's in rhythm for him. It's the Canes had the puck in their offensive zone for 33 minutes and 28 seconds compared to just 16 minutes and 51 seconds for the Caps. That is dominating time of possession, controlling the tempo, controlling the action, doing everything we talked about before the game yesterday.
Hey, you said 33 minutes and 28 seconds?
Yes.
Yeah, there was 63 minutes of hockey yesterday. So the other 30 minutes was either the Canes had the puck in the neutral zone in their own defensive end, or Washington had the puck somewhere on the ice. I think Washington only had the puck in the offensive end like 17 minutes.
It was 16:51.
There you go.
And I just have this image of right, and you do have to go and back it up with stats like that, because not always the thing you walk away like, did I see that? Is right. But I had this image of the big bad Caps just chasing around the faster Canes all night, right? Just as the puck was moved around the perimeter, as they just skated with a greater velocity. And then you go see something like 33 minutes and 28 seconds in the Canes offensive zone, and you go, actually, yeah, what I saw, what I remembered, it is what happened. So don't go around saying, "Oh, Canes stole one. Oh, they stole home ice. Oh, look at that. They went out there and got lucky." No. The longer the game went on, the more it became something's going to have to give. And give, by the way, give credit to the Caps for doing the things that keep you in games when you're being dominated in all those stats we just said. Throwing their body around. They were not afraid to step in front of some absolute rockets and get blocks prior to reaching the goalie, Thompson.
They blocked 36 last night.
That is giving your body up for the team. You give credit for that. You don't have to like the Caps to go, nah.
Hey, you can respect it.
Svetch, got to, was it 94 miles an hour or whatever it was. Like, these guys were ripping it, and Caps were doing what you have to do to stay in a game as long as you can when getting beaten in a lot of ways. So give them credit for it, but don't take away from the Canes' domination. Don't take away, and we can have these conversations. I don't know what the state of North Carolina or the franchise ever did to PK Subban, who's one of the national broadcasters. But when they cut in at intermission of the game following the Canes, and his big takeaway was, Washington didn't play well. Don't do that. The Canes, if Washington didn't play well, it's because Carolina was making them not play well, right? If Washington couldn't get into a rhythm, it's because they didn't have the puck because the Canes were possessing it. It's not like the puck was just sitting free on the ice and Washington couldn't find it. They were watching Aho's line dominate. They were watching Mark Jankowski get hurt and have the Canes actually go down to essentially a 3-line rotation for a big part of the third period and still out-hustle and win 50-50 pucks for the Canes. Like, that's earned. That's not, Washington didn't play well. That's earned by the Canes.
Yeah, outskated them.
Exactly.
Outskated them.
Now, 7-game series, got to do it every game.
True.
But game one, it's if it wasn't a knockout, it was won on the cards unanimously. They won like 9 of the 12 rounds. Like, it was aggressive. And then, of course, Mr. Game 1 did what he had to do.
Let's go.
That's Logan Stankoven. I'm telling you, when that name catches on, make sure you give us a bibliography. Mr. Game 1, he now has 3 playoff goals, all of them coming in Game 1s. He's played 2 Game 1s. So he's a goal and a half per game in Game 1s for the Canes. He is a Mr. Game 1. Here's Stankoven on sticking to what they know and doing it despite maybe not getting the scoring started early.
It's just trust in the game plan. That's what our game is all about. Getting in his eyes and lots of shot volume. That's what Rod preaches. So sometimes not everything's going to go in. So you got to be patient, and worked out well for us tonight.
There were points where Thompson in goal for the Caps. I don't know if it was anybody else noticed this. Seemed like his glove was the guy caught like 80% of the shots sent his way. He wouldn't, no blocker, didn't need the stick. He's just like, I'm just gonna catch everything.
Except for Stankoven.
And then obviously slaving, and that's all it took. Overdrive here on 99.9 The Fan will continue up next with more Canes talk. You win, we talk about you a lot. Stick around.
Let's go! It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the Giants goal!
Let's go, Canes!
Kochetkov, stop! It's on the goal line behind him! He does a snow angel in the paint!
Go, Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we want to be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Stitches, itches, aches, and pains. Strep and sinus, minor sprains. Pink eye, earaches, fever, flu. Virtual visits, physicals too. At WakeMed MyCare 365, we offer both walk-in primary care and urgent care. So find the MyCare location nearest you at wakemed.org. Walk right in, and for just about anything from asthma, rashes, and examinations to x-rays, labs, and vaccinations, make MyCare your care.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to let a new career blossom. The Wake County Public School System is hiring special education instructional assistants and bus drivers, and we need dedicated individuals to help transport kids and provide instruction to motivated students. You'll love our competitive salaries and comprehensive benefits, including retirement, and will enjoy a welcoming, positive culture that will motivate you every day. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and discover a place where anything is possible.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night? Worried about your finances in these crazy times? Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. If you're like most people, you have racked up a sizable amount on your credit cards, and the monthly payment is not making a dent in it. It's time to call Loan Pronto. If you own a home, you have a super easy way to get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash. Loan Pronto has lots of options for helping you tap into the equity in your home and get the cash you need to get back on solid footing. Most homeowners who do this end up wiping out all their credit card debt and cutting their monthly expenses by $1,000. Look, you didn't mean to end up here, but you don't have to keep stressing about money. Call Loan Pronto for fast debt relief now. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Again, the website, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Why? Why take a chance? Why risk a mistake? Why say something? We all have reasons why we choose to ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right. The word why can either paralyze us or empower us to stand up and protect what we love. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my family.
I see safe for my friends.
I see say for my students.
We see say for each other.
I see say because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies this community we're all a part of. So protect your everyday. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
So, what's the asking price on this house?
You'd probably be more comfortable living somewhere else.
How long is the lease? Sure, you can afford to live here, but...
How about the schools?
We have twins.
This neighborhood probably wouldn't be right for your kids.
If a real estate or rental agent says anything like this, you are being discriminated against, and it is illegal. If you experience housing discrimination, go to HUD.gov/fair housing and report it. Fair housing. The law is on your side, A message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
We're in overdrive on 99.9 The Fan. Today's key highlights and opinion from The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Let's go bad cop, right? Good cop, bad cop. First segment, good cop. After a win, you want to start with good cop, right? You want to say all the things your team did well. You want to celebrate. You want to make sure there's no disrespect. And then you watch the film, right? And then you dive in, and then you ask, what could we have done better? If we dominated the way that it feels like we dominated, why were we down 1-0 so late in the game? Why did we need overtime? That's a good question. And it brings us right to where so much of the debate around the Canes system comes from, which is shots on goal are awesome, but not every shot on goal is created the same, right? Not every shot attempt is created the same. There was a stat passed around yesterday. The Canes had 94 shot attempts in that game, which is absurd.
That's a lot.
Washington had 34 shot attempts.
That's not as many.
In inner slot shots, Canes had 7. Washington had 6. Right? So despite taking so many less shots, they at certain levels of high risk shots, high leverage shots, Washington was getting nearly as many. So that's where the crux of it is for the Canes. Right? It's the context, it's the nuance. I like counting shots on goal as much as anybody, and I do that for guys like Svech. Like, I'm just like, hey man, I don't care where they are. Give me 5 shots on goal and I'll be happy, because I think Svech, when he's aggressive, is a better player. But at a certain point, you have to look around and go, all right, maybe not just any shot on goal, right? At a certain point, it's if there's one more pass for a better shot, if there's a chance you can take to get closer to the net or closer to the crease, go ahead and give me that, because not every shot is created equal, even though part of the Canes system is shots on goal, shots on goal, shots on goal. Part of their system is good things happen when you get pucks on net, and it's true, but there has to be some kind of a balance. At one point in time, during the broadcast, right, because away game we're watching on our couch, they put up the shot chart, right, with the little dots on everywhere that a shot on goal had been taken. And, I mean, the Canes, it looked like a Steph Curry shot chart. It was like, did you get 3 points for being out beyond an arc anywhere? Because they're taking them from distance. It's like, is this Pete Maravich, where it's like you're making